power, and sex. That's what this case is about. It didn't matter what obstacles she had to remove to get what she wanted. If it was a person, it didn't matter.
All I want is money, power, and I think I money, power. All I want is money, power, and I think I.
Is Lori Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Is Lori Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow? Answer, guilty. Is Lori Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tammy Daybell? Answer, guilty. Is Lori Vallow not guilty or guilty of grand theft? Answer, guilty. Dated this 12th day of May, 2023, signed by the presiding officer.
They got the bitch.
Hey, everybody. I'm glad y'all are here tonight. And we're getting ready for Well, welcome. I think maybe Donna might be having some issues. We all do. Y'all know I'm the queen of issues. Did something happen? I don't know. I didn't see anything. My computer kicked me out twice before I could come back in. I was messing with some settings before I came on. So how's it going? I'm that chick that when we go look at a new car, whatever, we go test drive it. I would sit in the passenger seat and I would push all the buttons. That's what I do. Push buttons. That has not changed. Hey, how you doing, Carrie? Jet Set J. Just me. Good to see you. Little Brands. Always good to see you, girl. Your humor is always welcome here. Can y'all hear me good? Might help if I... Oh my God, it's a rig. It's a whole rig. Right? Rig. Anyways. Little Brands. See, this is why I love Little Brands. Welcome to the Antarctic Satan Taco Igloo. We have Will Blubber on special today. Girl, every day for 4 years. You can watch it 100 times over and over and never get tired of it. Good. Because it takes a lot to make, just an intro. I can't imagine doing a whole film documentary. I'd love to do a documentary of my own. It'd be great. Candace Parr, good to see you. Hey, Trace on the case. And my moderators, they are awesome. They are awesome. A girl. Hello, a girl. Hi, Dog Mom. Good to see you. T.S. Jackson, 72. Great to have you. Philly. I love your name. Elizabeth Huffman. Candace Parr. I forget when I say them over and over, if I do. And Festus's mom. Every time I see that one, I always think fetus. Because my eyes are crazy. But I know. That's just me and my dark humor. Hey, Kathy Klein. How are you doing? The dumbbells. Why not? Everybody, right. I say the sleigh bells because they slay all day. Yeah, Julie Coe. It always reminds me of Julie Rowe. How you doing? Good to see you. We know you're not Julie Rowe. You need to put all your devices in a lockbox. Hey, Janet. It's so good to see you. Oh, just me. Yeah. Dora Pinion. Dora, I'm going to say it. You always say Krishna. I get called all kinds of things, so I don't mind being Krishna. I just think it's cute. Actually, the Elwife, she's called me credenza and all kinds of things. I get Croatia. I get all Gretchen. I'm like, where the hell you get Gretchen from? Okay. But it's good to see you always. Tracy Gilbo, good to see you too. Yes, you made it live. All right. Gilbo, that used to be my mom's doctor's last name. that what do you call him? The serial killer or whatever. They keep saying Gilbo. I know it's not spelled right, but or the same. But I was like, I told Jason, I was like, oh, Gilbo. Mom's doctor's name was Gilbo. I remember him. Hey, a little bit. How you doing? And of course, Donna. She's my MC. Oh, thank you, Trey. Thank you, Donna. And Brenda Piru. Brenda P. Let's see. Gloria Fritz, good to see you. Always, it's good to see you. So glad to have you guys here. Hello, Mark David. That's how we say it here in the South. I know it's David, I'm sure. Unless you're from here. Laura Hoare has no more hair dye. Can we all just take a moment, relish that? She has no more damn hair dye. Jolly Ranchers for lipstick, but that face, oh, that face has done a number on the translated being and mine. She's done numbers on my face. Can't wait for her to go to the big house in general population, right? Can we just take a moment and just relish this? I can't believe, huh? And Jay says the day is finally here, almost here. It's going to be nice to see Kay unload. Again, I've been on the receiving end of my mom. It's not pretty. Just saying. I've never killed her grandson. So, woo! It's going to be ooh, she's going to get it. Yeah. I'm her daughter. I'm Kay's daughter, so trust me. You know, when I was a kid and pissed her off. No. I'm sure we all piss our parents off until no longer. Hey Shar, how you doing? Oh, good. Grandma Jizzard. I like her name. She has Morgellons so badly. Morgellons? I don't know that word. I'd have to Google it. Leatherface. So Janice Jr. Sorry. God, sorry. Trace on the case. And a good old duck. There we go. Just kidding. Couldn't leave him out. I always leave him out. Hey Aguilar, how you doing? Hey Angela. Hello. So what y'all want to talk about today? Anything? I was going to do, because we did the poll on the community page, but so just, I don't know, something with me, like I have to really, there's a lot going on in my mind and my heart and all that stuff right now. So until we get this lore horror adjudicated fully, I couldn't just move on to, you know, Brandon and Melanie Pulowski, Brandon Boudreaux, sorry, Brandon and Melanie. I couldn't just start. So I was like, there's plenty of time. We have this stream, which is, you know, once we end this stream, we only have one more stream, regular Sunday stream. And then the bitch goes to prison. Lori goes to prison. Anyways, so that's not long. So, you know, I figured we would just take this time and bring up people that we miss. Yeah. Maybe some. Anybody out here, Elmom fans or True Crime Unveiled or my friend Jen. Any of those? Yeah, because she's here. I'm about to bring her up. Yay, she's here. So get ready, Jen. And a one. Here she is.
I'm here. I look a little different.
Yeah, you're very circular.
Round.
Yeah.
Pale.
Yeah, you are pale. I don't know. I got a sunburn from hell over there in your area, Salt Lake, in Utah.
In Utah?
In Utah.
It's that elevation.
Yeah, I was
trying to think about it. I'm like, why did she get burned so bad? And I was like, oh yeah, it's the elevation. It's a little higher up here than in Louisiana.
I figured it's because we're closer to the equator here, but I stayed outside. That's what I got. I was like, I stayed out there a lot because, you know, I smoke. So that's where I stayed. And then you got burnt on half of your face.
Yeah, I look like
she was looking at me, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, and then it was snowing the next morning in Boise. I was like, where am I at?
Yeah, that's
snow.
That's how it is.
So how's it going?
It's going.
All right.
It is going. Hi, everyone. I see some faces I miss, or some. What are they? We
don't see your face, but that's okay. I have a good memory. Oh my god.
Well, I was gonna try. I'm not on a laptop I own, so I was gonna try and upload something kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I can't. Well, I don't even know how to like make my start cam.
Hey girl. Hey, that's the room I stayed in.
This one, yeah, it's
Yeah.
messy. Don't look
Look
at
at
it.
my bed. That's look just how I left it. I'm joking.
See my desk. It's just like, wah.
Oh yeah, those were JJ's favorites were M&Ms, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, then to JJ.
Yeah, I can't eat too many of those.
Hold on one second. I gotta shut the door. It's gonna bug me.
Right. I have a closet door right behind me too. Y'all, here's my difficult research mug. So go get you one. Get you one for your coffee.
Oh,
As Zach used to say, he always said "Falfy."
oh, now we can see it. The other side. I'm trying to like. Okay, it's a shit show in here, everyone.
It's difficult research, so everybody's used to this shit.
It's yeah, we're nearing the end of the capstone, so I may actually graduate.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Woo! God. Okay,
So I
yeah,
had
I'm
to
not gonna.
redesign my whole study like 2 days ago. I had spent like forever trying to clean this data for freaking Louisiana.
Yeah,
Florida.
she's over here telling me what all's wrong with my state, and I'm over here telling her what all's wrong with their state. That's what we do.
You can't
It's
control
easy.
your
I cannot.
well, I guess I can't either.
I can run. I look. At least I have a warning when there's a hurricane. I have a warning, and I have time to flee. There's no warning for Utah. No.
Hey, does anybody live in Cameron?
Yeah, my brother. My brother. Well, yeah. I mean, usually, right now his address is not there.
Oh, because I was like running down and I'm like, does anyone live here?
Yeah, like I actually used to do insurance, and I'm not really good at it, but they put me in charge of like the flood insurance and stuff. Thanks for becoming a member, Miss Mojo Rising. You're in the cool kid club now.
That's right.
You heard it here first, right? Anyways, but yeah, so I was in charge of doing
Oh, there's my clip.
the
This is why I should just go live in Outer Darkness.
yeah, Outer Darkness is, I like the dungeon down there. It's very, I get sunburn in Outer Darkness. It's crazy. But yeah, so I used to do like the things. And so like if you had a lot of those places out in Cameron, they're on the Gulf, which our Gulf is brown. So don't think that there's nice, pretty blue water. The Mississippi River runs into it and it poo-poos all over. No, just all the sediment comes, this way. So it's really brown. But anyway, so there's a lot of those houses and it's flood. It's at the coastline, and so it's going to flood first. And anyway, so even if you had one enclosed closet downstairs under a house on stilts or whatever, if you had anything with 4 walls, then you had to insure the whole bottom floor too. And I mean, it's expensive. Mm-hmm. It's higher than giraffe. Beep. Yeah.
Very expensive. I have no...
Hey, it's just Robbie. So yeah, kick those capstones ass. I don't even know what a capstone is besides something you bitch about.
It's kind of like a dissertation that people do for a PhD. I call it a dissertation light because it's, it is only supposed to take a year unless you're me, and then you're like, crap. There's so much that went on, and
that's merely a suggestion.
Yeah, I was like, I had to pay $2,000 to extend it because like it couldn't just extend it. They're like, okay, you can, but for $2,000. I was like, Jesus, well, I'm already like $1 million in debt for you guys, so.
I'm sorry, I'm seeing Candace Parsec. Can we do What's Wrong with Idaho?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, we can. And go.
Windy. I don't.
Oh, no. We're talking politics. Or you know what I mean.
Oh.
The weird Idaho ways, it's not even just in this case. It is now they're using like what Judge Boyce did as, well, hey, what do you call that? Like it set a precedence or whatever, precedence. Like for him to take the cameras out the courtroom. They're doing the same thing in Idaho. They're doing it to where you can refer back to that case law. Now, well, Judge Boyce took away the cameras. Judge Boyce did this, So
What's
now,
a what? It's not binding precedent unless it goes to federal.
hmm,
It's like,
oh,
so it shouldn't be binding with just him. It's
yeah.
got to go to like the appeals court, and I think it's like
Yeah, I mean, they're not like,
or something.
like officially calling it out, but like I watched one hearing where Shannon Gray, my parents had hired him too. He's an
Oh yeah,
attorney for the victims, family members of the Idaho, for some of them. And anyways, and that's whenever they said that my mom and Larry were not related. They were like,
oh
oh,
yeah,
no,
that
no, no.
bullshit.
What the?
My God, stop.
Oh my God. I was livid, so I can't imagine. I can't
Well,
imagine how Larry feels.
well, and here's the thing, and um, we're not going to get into a I
Go
don't want
for it.
to get
Do
into
it.
a controversial, because this is not meant to be a controversial statement. This is just irony that I find in the Idaho law. This is not a position on.
Yeah, go for it. They're used to
So
it.
I'm looking through, Idaho has passed some very strict abortion laws. And one of those abortion laws is that you can sue on behalf of an aborted fetus.
Oh yeah, I remember you
Um,
saying
and I'm like, so if a grandparent can sue on behalf of an aborted fetus,
that.
and they can
Mhm.
be, and I looked it up. Remember, I was like, well, as
Yeah,
far as this abortion law is considered, you're a parent.
right,
Like, you
right.
guys are all related. Um,
It's nuts.
but oh, oops, Judge Boyce says we're not. So,
Yeah,
like,
prove it.
then it's like someone needs to go. I'm like, oh, I wish I just had money of some of those like activist type groups to just like challenge that, because it's
All
like,
right, everybody, roll it in. We're gonna go active. We are gonna be activists.
yeah,
Some
but they
friendly
do.
ones.
I mean, you can sue a doctor. You can sue the woman, I think, in Idaho, and be like, well, that was going to be my grandchild when I
Grandbaby, and you
aborted
took
it.
it away.
Yeah,
Wow. That makes you like really just relish that for a minute, everybody. Marinate.
I mean, like post birth, you can't. You don't have any rights post birth after you've loved and hugged and like cuddled
Yeah.
this baby, and
Named, I
you
mean,
know,
yeah.
like then you don't have any
Oh.
rights.
And we have video. Like I was ready. I had videos ready. Hey, Mama. Hey, Papa. Everything like that. Like it just wasn't. There's Uncle Charles saying, "Tell my mom, Papa, hi." It's not just something she dubbed herself, asshole, Archibald, mother, fill in the blank. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I noticed something with Archie that was really shitty. Um, Besides, he looks like you could blindfold him with some dental floss because he looks high AF.
It might be.
Yeah, Judge. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, but he's really nasty as far as like doing that to my parents. How he was like, that's just a name she dubbed herself. She dubbed herself
Yeah.
Grandma, and I'm like, no, mother effer. She named herself. My son named her Mama. Okay, she wanted to be Grammy. If you really want to get technical,
Well, you
and
dub
then
yourself a defense attorney, and you fucking
exactly
blew the closing argument. Like,
right, you suck.
I was like,
Thomas
oh
fell
my god,
asleep. I watched him sleep. I elbowed my mom and was like, "Look at this mother effer.
yeah. I was like,
He's sleeping."
I mean, he
Ball
he
ring.
sucked at that, which was fine with me. I was like,
Whatever.
oh, sure. But I was just like, I thought he was gonna. I just was listening to it, going, dude, like he's got. I guess when you have nothing, you have nothing,
Right. So you just go in there and ramble.
and like,
Yeah, I saw this right here. Trace on the case says, did you see his many impact statements were made on behalf of Tristan? I remember watching that myself, and they were great. There were friends, schoolmates, her family, everybody. And I've watched on Court Cam or whatever it is on whatever Annie Dan Abrams crap, and this was a long time ago. That's all I've ever wanted to do is make a damn impact.
I know.
I don't need their money. I don't want their funds. They can keep them and go defraud somebody else somewhere. I'm good. I always just ask, I just want to be able to read a victim impact statement. So maybe there needs to be some stipulation in there for just that. I don't know.
Well,
But
you talked about that from day one.
day one.
Day
Yeah.
I met you.
And I mean, it's a repeat of what I've been through already with compassionate friends. When I reached out to them by chance, that's not a norm for me. Reached out and they basically turned me down.
Yeah.
Like they were just, and I mean, I understand their rules, their guide. You have to have boundaries. I mean, I understand it's a nonprofit, but they didn't even point me in the right direction. I mean, I went and looked that email up the other day just to refresh myself, and it didn't even dawn on me at the time that happened. And I was like, when I did realize, I was like, oh my God, they turned me away. Like they didn't point me in a healthy, here, these people can help. Or it was just like, here, you're left to your own damn devices again. So I'm just, here's this mother. I'm gonna have to start not even fake cussing. But I mean, here's Stephen Boyce.
Stevie.
Yeah.
Wife calls you Crescendo too.
Did you say that's the other one. No, Credenza.
She has nicknames for everybody. I'm Gertrude. Most of the time, I'm Nosy Neighbor and Bewitched.
Esmeralda.
Gladys. She calls me Gladys because I stay home because
I do too. So we're.
But I look out the windows, and so like a lot of times I'll be like, "Oh, I haven't seen so and so forever. I wonder." And she's like, "Oh no, she comes out all the time." I'm like, "No, she hasn't been out since blah 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 blah." And it was a Tuesday, and I was out gardening, and I saw her, and she opened the mailbox, and blah 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 blah. And she's like, "What the hell? Do you just watch them?" I'm
Jason, man, Jason. He's like, no, he's very, and I'm like, no, I don't argue unless I'm right. So it's usually, I'm like, dude, it's okay. It's not a right or wrong issue. It's a non-issue.
Well, we argue the same point. We were talking about it. We went to a wake yesterday for one of our friends. So first,
I hate that.
Stella, who was
Core.
Stella. I don't have. It's not rum and coke like she likes, but
nobody knew that.
Yeah, I should have just been like, but we were at her wake yesterday, and we were talking about how we argue, and in the middle of an argument, we'll be like, "Wait a minute, we're saying the same thing." Like we're literally arguing with each other, and we freaking agree 100% on this. So it was just kind of funny to be like, "Yeah, we do that all the time," but.
Oh yeah, it was sad to hear that. Where's my dog? Where's my dog?
Oh, your dog?
Yeah,
She's getting shipped to you right now.
Yes.
You know who else I'm going to ship my brother's dog to you because they just asked if we could.
No.
No. I'm going to, of course, and then I'm going to complain.
Yeah, free agency, Jen. You could say no.
It's called agency now?
Whatever. It's just something. Practice it.
I don't understand why these little terminology changes.
That's what's wrong with Utah.
So much more.
Yes, men. Yes, men. It's none but the yes men. Yeah.
So much more.
I'm joking. So, okay. Anybody have any questions for what are you going by these days? True Crime Unveiled? What are you?
Oh,
You're Jen? Just Jen. Jen. That's what I always.
However, some people when I'm driving call me something else.
Right. That's true.
Hey. They wave at me.
There are some aggressive ass drivers over there. The whole time I was up there, I was just like, why is everybody so everybody is pissed off on the road. And you're like, yeah, but she shouldn't have freaking da. And then you and Michelle both. I was like, oh my, y'all look like a damn orchestra. And I was like,
she's worse than me.
And just, no. It's not a competition. Y'all are all I'm sure the car next to us, I'm sure they were saying the same damn thing. Everybody's just like, well, F you and use the damn road. I'm like, Mary too. Mary was like that too. I'm like, holy shit.
Remember when I almost missed the off-ramp? And I was driving
Yeah,
when we were coming to Salt Lake, and it was 2 a.m, and I'm like, I can't see very well at night, by the way.
Okay, neither.
She's like, oh, neither could I. And like the whole way we're going, and then remember we got behind the semi, and like we were worried about like, you know, because he was switching lanes, or he was like,
oh yeah, he was. But she gets. I used to be like that too. Get really nervous on the side of him, like, oh my god.
Well, because Elwife used to drive a semi, and so I know all the like, where you are, and they can't see you, and
they hurt. They're bigger.
Yeah, and I knew like they couldn't see us, and so I was like, I want to pass, but they're like straddling the lane. But yeah, then we got down here, and like we were just talking, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, there's my exit. Chris, like,
I'm used to it, girl. I'm used to it though. My mom's the same way. I mean, she's a good driver. She's the only person I can fall asleep in the vehicle with. I mean, and we'd go to my Aunt Terry's, like it's 4 hour. Well, where she used to live, it was forever. It was like a 4 hour drive. And then you could tell when you start getting towards that part of Texas, it was it was Gladewater, Texas, and which is by Tyler. And, anyways, we're going up a hill and it says no passing. The 2 line, double line, don't pass. You know, but that's my mom. I mean, she's my first cult leader, right? So I'm just used to it. I'm indoctrinated. I'm down. And but I mean, would just pass people, and I'm just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, mom. Oh, you can't do that, you know. She's your mom. She's your co-leader. You know that. Holy crap.
Hippie Gypsy that's a really good idea. Like, what if you did an op-ed?
What are you talking about?
Write an op-ed.
For what? I do this every week, op-ed.
No, like for a statement, like you could.
Oh yeah, I was reading that. What Hippie Gypsy says. Yeah, I mean, it's just not the point.
It's not the same.
The point is, why the hell do I have to prove my worthiness? This is not the goddamn LDS church. I am not part of the church or the church culture. And I'll be damned if I'm going to have to prove my worthiness. Yeah. For your honor, your highness.
It's not. Ugh.
Nobody provoked that. He just, bam, here you go. I'm like, well, I didn't even know it was a non-issue. I didn't know it was an issue. Obviously, you were pre-planning, you know? And then I went and read the section about, I had read it a long time ago, but I read it again. And I was like, oh, wow. It's like he found it's like a little loophole.
Tiniest loophole. And the thing is like in these,
I know that.
In these legislative, like when you read this, it always says as used in this section. It does not say that.
Exactly.
He's quoting a completely different section. And it's always like, it's not as, if it's as used in this section, that's like, I was shocked at how the loop de loop he went around to find.
It's a known loophole, obviously.
I mean, it's super obscure, and it's just not. It's just not anything that I've ever seen in my experience.
I'd have to go and actually like study other cases, and who wants to do all this shit? I mean, what I do in my channel, on my channel, and have done has been part of my process, my healing, grieving, you know, just all the questions, just the normal stuff. But I mean, actually not normal, because most people don't have to do all this shit. Yeah. I mean, we're talking cult, allegedly. And then you find out bigger cult. Holy shit, a very powerful, wealthy, oh my God, very influential cult. 60. When people ask me now how many members Chad and Lori's cult have, I'm like 16 million, allegedly. Give or take. Give or take. Either way, they still have over $100 billion that they hid from the rest of us. So, yeah, you want me to say it for the ones in the back? They are corrupt.
I think it's really funny that for the last at least 10 years, there has been major concern over the Great Salt Lake because it's drying up and there's arsenic in the lake bed. And with the wind and everything, they're concerned. Plus, we have like the Twila Army Depot out there, so we're already all getting cancer from that. And we have the mines. We have like
and
so
Normans,
this arsenic in this lake
in the church.
And then, we're like, okay, now it's bad. Now, finally, like last year, the legislature is like, oh, it is bad. And then the church is like, funny timing. Suddenly, they're like, hey, you know what? We have all this water. We'll just donate it.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
I remember. I'm sorry. I keep. I remember seeing on Twitter.
They had story broke. And they're like, it was right after the SEC.
Yeah. Okay. So on Twitter, there was a bunch of people like talking about lawns, watering lawn and mowing lawn or something like that. And I was like, what the hell? So then I looked through a lot of comments and then found the news articles and everything. And I was like, wow, they could give everybody a bunch of money and solve all kinds of things. But, Jesus is coming, wink, wink, and we need money. For what? I don't know. Money is only valuable because we give it value. Just like the church is only powerful if we give it power. Whatever we give power to or value to, that's what they're using that against us. And it's so stupid.
Well, they own everything, and they own all these buildings downtown they're empty.
That freak you out. I gave me a damn panic attack. I was like, oh, let's go. I got to go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But we have a huge homeless problem. And so like a huge homeless problem.
It's everywhere.
It's worse than San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I think about it and I'm like, they have these camps, right? Like you've seen Skid Row or these.
Are they white camps? I'm joking. We have them too. Tent cities. Yeah.
Those are,
that's for the high class white trash. No.
Those are a little bit northeast of here. Anyway, we're in Utah. Anyway, Utah County. I'll just start saying like random counties that I think that they're in. But yeah. So anyway, they have these camps, and these people only have, their only possessions in the world. They carry on them, and the health department goes in and is like, "Guess what? I can't." Just so you know. We're done, and they clear them out. And if they did Housing First, which is a program that works, and the church participated, done, solved like that.
With their welfare program, then
done.
Everything's conditional in the Mormon church. Mm-hmm. Everything is conditional, including the second anointing, which is, you can be an exalted God. You can, have a polygamous marriage, and we know that you're sealed to other members of our church. We know that, but it's okay. It's spiritual wifery, and it's okay because we believe it, and we lied to the U.S. government to, become part of the statehood, and we did all that, but our fingers were crossed behind our backs, and we have been practicing it we never stopped. And we're just duping everybody, especially our members. And then here they go with the SEC thing, and 2.5 decades of hiding just because they're exalted themselves. They have put themselves, well, we don't have to do that. We're gods,
Well,
and so they could really cause civil unrest. They could really throw us in our economy. That's how I see it. They're hiding all this wealth, but then they got caught and then had all these 13 shell companies that they did just to help further. It's overt, to
and
really
then they say, well, it's not us, it's our we have members that own those.
It's always somebody else.
That's what happened with the Salamander papers.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it wasn't us. It was like our member that bought them. It's like, but
but you approved it, assholes. Somewhere you are not fallible, or is that right? I always get fallible and infallible mixed. You are a man, just
You're-
like me and you. You are not. You do not
infallible.
have any special connection with God over anybody else. So I don't give a shit.
What I thought was the funniest defense. I thought this was hilarious. There's always like,
Oh yeah,
there's always this justification. And I texted you it because I was just like, this is the funniest damn thing I ever heard.
everybody.
I said, I can't, well, I could believe it because I have
We're
kind of
Mormon.
known, I know a little bit about the assets that the church holds. And so I said, yeah, like that SEC. And the person I was talking to, who is an active member, said, I heard they're going to sue their finance company for it. And I said, they own their finance company. So I don't know how you can sue yourself, but I'm sure you can figure out a way.
Exactly. Do you remember when Joseph Smith opened his own bank with his own money and his own whatever? It's all just a big fraud.
Lost everybody's money.
It's master deceiver, master
Portland.
Deception.
Yes, Donna, they do have temples and they do get sealed. A lot of the FLDS or the polygamous groups.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember the one that got seized. Yeah, Donna. Forgot to tell you that.
They are surprisingly similar to I know you hate the word mainstream, but traditional. What do I say? Like traditional, the traditional Mormon temples. They have a lot of the same features and a lot of the same ceremonies. One thing that really is, I watched I want to always say eat, pray, love. It's not that. It's like
sweet. Stay sweet.
Like
pray, obey.
Okay. I don't know the Netflix documentary. You guys.
That one, yeah.
So I'm watching the Netflix documentary, and there is the part, and I had always wondered how this rumor got spread. The part that like Mormon couples do that dirty on the ceiling bench.
Oh yeah. Well, that happened in FLDS.
I can't say if that is. So I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Desecrated.
Yeah. But in that documentary, they talk about Warren Jeff's, like, that was the marital bed. And as I was reading through some of Joseph Smith's history, Helen Mar Kimball,
okay,
the 14-year-old he married.
Yeah.
And it was not because it was a different time.
No, it's not. It was a different time, and it's just as gross then as it is now. He was 37 years old.
Well, you look at the marital records, people did not marry. I mean, I'm sure every once in a while a couple 14-year-olds got married, but a 37-year-old did not marry a 14-year-old.
To who was already married to other people. You don't know. Okay, what about that, assholes? That's what it's like. No matter how I'm like poke. Now, back when I started all this, I did not know all this, nor did I know I was going to learn all this. I'm just, it freaks me out and it grosses me out. And it pisses me off, like at least, and this isn't just LDS. This is all the big religions. This is your Catholic Church. This is your big event. These big, what do they call them? Oh my God, the power. Mass churches, mass.
But their followers send them.
Yeah, Joel Osteen, all these, and they have all this money, and you're like, but you're doing nothing with it. I do gotta give it to Catholics. At least they do that, but it doesn't mean they rape. Grape just as many, or just less children, less boys. It just is gross. And that's one of the things. The major deflections in this was, well, but the Catholic Church does this, and I'm like, well, then y'all are both shitty.
Here's the difference that I noticed. This is just me. I married into a Catholic family. My best friend is also Catholic, and this is just what I have observed. I observe that anytime someone sprinkles a little bit of criticism on the Mormon Church, the shit hits the fan, the justification begins, the discrediting, all of that.
It's character assassination.
Yeah.
That's what Lori did.
all of that kind of stuff. When I talk to Catholics about like that part,
Problematic stuff.
yeah, they're like, yeah, that's stupid. Like they're so pissed.
Right.
I feel like Catholics are the most pissed about the priests.
It's really weird. I'm like, why even do celibacy? Okay, why don't you lift that? Let them get their screw on so they'll stop messing with the children. But that's not at all the thing. I mean, so they're against gays. They're against all these. They don't practice what they nobody does.
No.
So you put these people in these roles, and then they are doing these horrible things. You wouldn't expect that from anybody serving in any church, anybody representing God or Christ or anything like that. You know, whenever Chad and Lori happened, I was like, oh my God. And then the cult, you know, I was like, all these, that made them more dangerous to me, because if they had the kajangas to hide behind Christ, to me, that was like, whoa, that's wow. That's blasphemous. That is bad.
And it's not just, I was talking to this, I was at Awake and we were talking about all sorts of things, you know. It was kind of funny. So my friend Stella that passed away, she's actually like a little sister to the Alewife.
Mm-hmm.
And a few weeks before she passed away, she basically was diagnosed with metastatic melanoma, and then it was 3 weeks later. But before that, like she didn't know that Michelle had told her, or the Alewife had told her, watch your drinking.
I'm sorry, I just spilled
a little less whiskey. But she, she's
bottle cap
and everything, and she asked me about the case, and she
poor thing.
Like, that Lori is, you're probably monetized now, so I'll say
go for it. It's okay.
Isn't she an atheist?
Isn't she a what? Like, a fucking bitch? Yeah, she is. That's the one.
And I was like, oh yeah. And then I later when she's fallen asleep, I played her that recording that you had sent me, and she fell asleep to it. And that's actually the last that I was able to talk to her when I went back there. She wasn't.
That is so sweet. You know, it really is.
But yeah, we were talking about it, and yesterday we were talking about it, and I was just saying, because people are like, oh, the Daybell case and blah blah blah, and I said, yeah, you know, my friend is a family member. I said, and of course I always go, you know, the grandparents that are always on TV.
Yeah. Well, there's other people in the family too.
Yeah.
Wow. What?
They have
it's not just the grandparents. So how they get the grandkid?
Yeah. Well, they all thought that they lived in Idaho. I'm like, no, they live in
hell no. Hell to the no.
But they were like, oh, so you know, and I said, well, you know, I didn't expand on it, but I said, I just I won't watch the Netflix documentary. And I know everyone's like, you should watch it. I know, I just won't.
Oh, I have it if you want it. If you ever want to watch it, and if it's to not support the numbers, the views, then I have it recorded.
When you know the facts about something, and then you hear that they're, because you know,
it's not that off. It's not that off. It's no different than any of the other ones, in my opinion. Nobody ever brings in the church. Everybody dumbs it down and says that it's just Lori and Chad's thing. I mean, awesome. That's awful safe. That's a luxury to be like, yeah, that's so safe. And yeah, way to go, mainstream media. And that's not at all the case. When they don't even they start calling it Bible instead of the Book of Mormon, because really, in all honesty, a Mormon really does not really rely on the Bible whatsoever. And as long as it's translated correctly, wink, wink, meaning it was somebody who couldn't even figure out. He was 14 years old, Joseph Smith, and he was a treasure digger, and he couldn't even. He's a freaking fraud. In today's society, if we were right now telling you everything about Joseph Smith, y'all be like, oh, cult leader, cult.
you know, like I obviously, well, so like the thing is that this is what I told people is I said, all of those assholes who were testifying like they were innocent, I go, they
Yeah.
all fucking knew what was going on. I
They
said, maybe they didn't know just to cover my ass legally. Maybe
alleged.
they
Just say
didn't.
allegedly.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So maybe
blanket the whole thing.
allegedly they didn't know about the forthcoming crimes. But I am telling you, if I am best friends with someone and suddenly
Uh-huh.
they think their husband is a dragon
Right.
and
Demonimal
doing
dragon.
castings and then he ends up dead, and then I suddenly hear, oh well, Tylee doesn't want to babysit, so she's dark. I'd be like, hi,
She didn't like your freaking side piece, Lori. Ew. Or your new weird friend. She was like, I'm good.
she knew because she knew she could read.
She's
Because
not
when you
stupid.
go through the amount of trauma that I think Tylee went through as a child, I really think she went through a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
When you go through that type of trauma
Ooh.
at the hands of a parent, you can read people
Yeah.
like that.
Because I'm the same way. I read people. It's what I can't help it. I just do it automatically. I don't even know I'm doing it because you've had to walk on eggshells, and you know, why is everybody upset? Can I fix it? That's why I do the humor thing, because it's like, well, ha ha ha, it lets everybody just lighten up, right?
Yeah. No,
But
I mean, I'm the same way. I think that's why we get along. But yeah,
uh,
I was just like, oh, don't even get me started. Like I was like
right.
doing my thing where like my neck starts to get red, and the L wife's like,
Cut it out.
let's go back to politics. Like,
Oh crap! Right. And I look, Jen. You know me. You know me, Mel. You know me. No, but I'm not political. I'm like, what? What would that even be called? What I am? Dumb?
apolitical. Yeah, you can
Apolitical?
say I'm
Like, I'm just
apolitical
like, what are we?
and
I don't know.
nonpartisan.
I just don't like corruption. I've learned through this. There's so many things. So, like, there's me who I am against the trafficking issue. I'm so against that. And I think Tylee and JJ are part of this, actually, if everybody would just hear me out.
I
That's
hear you.
that's how Tim Ballard is involved in all of this. He speaks at the same events. Him, Glenn Beck, all those.
Sean Reyes. Oops.
Oh, wait. Sean Reyes for sure. Sean Reyes, you suck. I'm not scared.
Well, you know what's
I do not speak
interesting?
for Jen.
Yeah, sometimes I probably shouldn't have said
They're
that.
just gross. David Levitt. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I have all 48 of
You got
those.
related to them. I know it's like 5 generations
Oh,
back.
because I told her about Keith Levitt, because Melanie Gibb named Keith and Suzanne Levitt. I got to go find that because it was in I want to say the RPD, Rexburg Police Department, not the Chandler or whatever, that she named Keith and Suzanne Levitt as being at the property whenever they went. And I'm like, well, where the hell are they on the witness list? Oh, conveniently.
Isn't there a picture, and I think you might have it,
Wait, which one?
David Levitt standing outside like property that's for sale. There's like a for sale type of property sign next to him. Or maybe it's a different sign.
Not David Levitt, Keith.
No, it's not Keith Levitt. Because
now he started hosting Julie's shows after Eric and her parted ways.
like now,
I gotta give it to Eric Smith. I at least give it to Eric Smith. At least he advocates for ritual murder victims, and he's trying to understand. He's looking for truth. Like, I just think they're incapable of
self-reflection.
grace. Not incapable. I mean, I'm sure. Not trying to be ignorant, I'm not trying to blanket the entire thing, but these people, for sure, I study them. It's what I do. It's what I've done. I can read them like the back of my hand. And
Absolutely.
it's like the like-minded behaviors, and it screams. None of them did the right thing. Nobody has said, oh my God, even once everything busted wide open, none of them have said, I'm so sorry. I just want you to know that anything you want to know, just ask me. Here I am. There's Melanie Gibb. You know, I don't know what her conversation was with my parents, but I'm sure it was just to soothe herself, just to, you know, kind of justify in her mind that she did the right thing.
Oh,
Compared to what?
took her the fuck long enough.
Compared to what? Because her ass was on the line. That's the
Yeah.
only reason.
Once you found out that you were possibly
Implicated.
well, I mean, I think out of everyone, Mau, I mean, this is someone that was, according to himself, he was a member of the military that served with honor.
He's friends with Tim Ballard.
Well, and that tells you one big thing. Once
Jump team, yeah.
But then he's, you know, an officer, and it's like didn't catch on to anything there.
Yeah, he did things the way he wanted.
And then he's like, "Oh, no, I didn't know him. Really? Because you did a fucking podcast with them."
Yeah. Oh, Lori, whenever I looked into your eyes.
She's together. She's like us.
You're just a brother and sister, you know,
I was
connection.
like, oh my God, you guys, like, stop on the podcast.
Right. What the hell are you? Is it really like some soft porn? Some what do you call it? B-roll, B-rated?
I looked into your eyes and I thought, she's a gatherer.
I was like, y'all are gross. Y'all are weird.
And, you know, of course, Lori's like, of course. Yeah.
So really
in prison.
Lori, yeah.
When you get there.
And it's not like he was a cop or whatever, but he didn't leave in good graces. He got fired from one job, allegedly. And then because he, like, while they were doing a sting, he fell asleep. Okay, you can't do that. That's lazy. You know, that's like that's a team. You're doing a bust.
Yeah, you're kind of putting your buddies in a
lives are on the line. Yeah. And so, you know, he got fired from that, but then he disagreed. I mean, according to that article, he disagreed with how they evaluated him. Of course he did, because he's a damn god. And
right.
This is that whole God complex thing. So then they find their way. And so then he's like suing them because his damn hamstrings fell off, which I think is the funniest thing I've ever heard. I'm sorry.
Like cartoon.
I finally said it right for the first time. Instead of, I finally remembered hamstrings. And so, but then if you think about it, you kind of watch these other things that he did, you know, like his Facebook page and all that. And he was doing all these other things while he was allegedly, you know, confined to his bed, in his mom's sewing room. Huh, poor thing, you know. But so there's some holes in that story too. I've done some digging around.
There's a lot of holes in those kinds of stories, like
because they're lies.
Yeah, well, and they sell, you know.
Well, yeah,
like people love these heroes.
Look at Tim Ballard. Look at Tim Ballard with his stupid movie, and so everybody's going to be like, no, you okay? So it's this whole black and white thinking again, and it's this whole if you're not for it, then you are a pedo. I can't say a pedophile. You're enabling them. And I'm like, are you, oh my God, there's one video that got like 5 million views in 11 days. And I was like, Jason, I'm not political. I'm not stupid. Why are people buying into Tim Ballard's thing? Hook, line, and sinker. Okay. So the movie, they played on your emotions. That's what the church does. Okay. Here we go. Monkey see, monkey do. And I am totally against trafficking of children or anybody for that matter. But here you go. You have the church, their what do you call it? Currency is your salvation. So they play on your emotions. You have to pay them for them to tell you if you're going to be, if you're good or not, if you're good enough or worthy enough to go to heaven. One of the three heavens. And then you have Tim Ballard doing the same thing. You're creating the problem. Tim Ballard is saying, yep, there is this problem, this issue, and it's this whole cabal. It's this underground thing. But they're, in my opinion, they're the ones doing it.
Yeah.
And they're diverting away from people who are actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny, like nobody knows where all the migrant children went.
Right. Okay.
Told you that.
They've run in these tunnels. Yeah. He's got 4 tunnels under his.
And then they find him in these meatpacking plants, and they're like, "We don't know how they got in here. They look like adults to us." And it's like a 14-year-old kid looked like a
really
able adult. And let me tell you, even if you thought this 14-year-old was an adult, they're not even tall enough to do the work.
Yeah. So a child slave. Child labor laws and things like that.
Yeah, and they're relaxing them all too.
So what about there's a trafficking problem right there in Utah?
Oh yeah.
So what up? That just slipped by him or something?
I mean, I guess the thing. This is what when I talked to a highway patrol officer about this. Is he said I-15 is the route, and he said that they line up on I-15 because that is where the traffickers go.
Interstate 10 here.
Yeah. So he said, most of it is a trafficking route.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, my van got stolen and it was caught with some traffickers in it. Some girls over there. It was by the Uvalde border, whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Big old van. It was clean too. I was like, I don't want it back.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, I don't know what they did in there.
do you really want to look at it with a black light? I was going to be like,
I don't know.
No, don't get a black light.
Yeah, now I really do want to go look. I told Jason, I'm like, can we get rid of it? Because it's not, first off, it's not, like what I want to drive, but you know what I mean? I'm humble, but still, I'm just like, really? There's insurance was about to pay out on it and you find it. Thank God they were found though, but still, it's just like, ew, it's tainted. I'm invaded,
Yeah.
It's just weird. But it goes on. Look at that Samuel dude that got caught in Arizona with those girls, and he has his own cult, And so I want to know what's causing the cult. It's not these people just all of a sudden saying, "Oh, I'm a god, I'm your god," whatever. I feel like, Chad right here saying, "Yep, I'm gonna start my own damn church right here in Rexburg, but then I'm gonna flee to Kauai and live there the rest of my days or whatever." That was the plan. It was not to start whatever the hell everybody keeps putting on him. I'm going to say, I want them to pay for what they did, but I don't want them to be implicated for what they did not do.
Right.
I want there to be a fair trial. I want there to be fairness, and it's because it's not even just to Lori and Chad. It's not. It is fair to the victims because their story's not being told. Therefore, it's going to happen again.
Right.
And that's why it's happened again.
A lot. And that is the thing too, because the first thing I hear, like when I do talk to people ever, if it comes up is, oh, didn't they start their own cult? I'm like,
yeah.
Do you have an hour? Because
just think about it. Think about it. That's all I'm asking for people to do is just really run that through your mind. Like, what would they gain from that? What would they gain from that? Building a church. David Warwick went and looked at the invisible church. He's lying his effing ass off.
Who? Okay, guys. All right. Let me just ask. Be honest with me.
Okay.
So I had a grandparent with Alzheimer's that passed away of Alzheimer's. I have memory problems that I'm terrified about, but never once have I watched something for 45 fucking minutes.
Oh yeah.
And then forgotten. I'm like, oh, I think there was a reason. Like, how did he get away with that? I was like, you watched it for 45 minutes before you remembered. You were like, this is some interesting stuff. Yeah, because you're living it, and you know about it, and you know things like that nobody else knows.
Yeah.
So 45 minutes
Yeah.
of watching it and then suddenly remembering, oh yeah, I wasn't supposed to. It's like, this is something you were told to by the court. Like this isn't something
It's
like
101.
I mean, it's like getting a jury duty notice and going, eh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just go by my rules.
You don't play. I always tell people, and I know this wasn't really the situation, but I always tell people, the feds and the courts do not play. Do not think you're going to get away with anything when it comes to that, because you will lose every single time, no matter how justified you feel you are. And him and just, it's like, really, you really,
I was livid. I was sitting in the damn pew and I was like, oh my God. I wanted to, I don't know. There was all kinds of things I wanted to do. I wanted to go and throat punch him. I was looking at Lori and she was pissed. You know, you have your whole, I mean, I get it. I'm not ever defending what Laura Horror did.
right.
That's my family.
Hopefully,
you know, but in the same breath, I know what all these other assholes are doing, and I have a pretty good idea where this is coming from, the whole thing. And Trace, it's in the name, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's where Jesus is. Anyways. But yeah, like, and she is pissed. And so if I did want to plead the fifth, if I were in that position and everybody is telling my story for me, you weren't there, Colby. You weren't there, Summer. None of us were there, asshole, Lori. None of us. Why? Because you did whatever you did. You got your orders. And it was not from Chad. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah. This is a recurring thing. I've studied over the Jeffrey Lundgren case. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And they were calling them mom and dad. So did Melanie Pulowski. I mean, there's a lot of things that are the same. Even to the point of crap. Where did I find it? I'll think about it. But there were so many of the same correlations. I was just like, oh my God. Oh, Jeffrey, he was the god of the whole earth or something like that. Or
was he Adam?
Power. His was about power. And Chad, now look, I found these documents the other day, and it's like on Academia. I paid for. And anyways,
stuff I can get for you. You don't have to pay for it.
I know, but I can't go look unless I pay.
I know, you and I are the same now. We're like looking through stuff at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, $19 is not going to stand between me and this paper. I'm going to read the rest of this shit. And I pay for JSTO, or I don't know how to say it, JSTOR.
You pay for JSTOR?
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh.
I'm a broke bitch.
Girl, all you have to do is send me the abstract. I'll pull it up.
Okay.
I paid $70,000 for it, so might as well use what I have.
Right? Write that shit off.
I didn't pay, the federal government paid, and then I have to pay them back with interest.
Yeah.
For a loan company.
Well, and you don't offend the government, because that's one of the victims that can do an impact statement in Lori's manner. Jason brought up the other day, we were watching Coffee with KJ the other morning, and Jason was like, you know how he passed the bar exam. He took a practice test while I was in Boise, because I've been telling him forever. I'm like, you need to go take the damn bar exam. Start getting paid, bub. Put the money where the mouth is. Don't give it away. So, these are talents. Anyways, so he told me like last week, he was like, I took it. I was like, what? Are you serious? And he was like, and I passed it. And I was like, oh my God. He was like, I don't want to work. I mean, I was like, no, babe, I'm just happy that you trusted in me and my judgment enough to just really see that about yourself, like.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
So, yeah. But I mean, I get him that one too. I was just always saying, you really should and could, and you got that if ever you want to. And that's with 2 strokes. And I'm just still like, what? But I forget where I was going with that though. I backslid a bunch.
I can look at the comments.
It was Jeffrey Lundgren.
132.
Huh?
Just pointed to Doctrine and Covenants.
Oh, yeah. That's polygamy, straight up. When you see DNC 132, that's brown chicken, brown cow.
Shady on the surrounding.
Shady shit's going on.
You're like, oh, he said what to Emma? Because if he said that, I'd be like,
oh,
hi.
I want to show y'all something.
Coffee instead.
Because I have it pulled up already. I just want to show, because I was pulling some things up before, just in case. Let me fix this. Okay. Present, share screen. I like to tell y'all what I'm doing. I could just sit here in silence. I don't know how. Okay, here it is. All right. These are, this is Latter Day Media, right?
Oh my God, this is like the thing I went
Can y'all see? Okay. And, anyways, so I've watched this a long time ago. They're going over Visions of Glory. Okay. And this is a discussion on Adam on Diamond, what it means, why it is significant for us, and what some possibilities are to qualify. You got to qualify to attend the great meeting. That means that this is something great meeting. That's not just there to be held there. So you got to qualify first off. So this is Helena. I don't know how to say her last name. Kleinlein. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so she breaks it down, tribulations. And so this is over the Visions of Glory book. This is Lori's hand guide. I mean, this is her guide.
Well, and let me just point something out. If you look right where your cursor is and you see that's a big thing, but you see coming future dishes, you see Lakeview Fireside, and then like below it, you see well-researched presentation of Lakeview Orem Preparedness Fireside.
Where?
In that thing. You just like highlighted it.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. So in my experience, firesides are, I mean, that is a church thing. I know they said that it wasn't church sanctioned.
Adam said it the other day in his podcast.
Yeah. But
so did Brandon.
Fireside, you go, I mean, they have youth firesides, they have things. So I don't ever believe these people when they're like, oh, nobody the church doesn't, they're not, it's like,
it's not sanctioned or something. And I'm like, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
There are a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of clubs I call them clubs, but in academia, there's all these things. They're based off of the primary group or cult.
Yeah.
My God, I sent you pictures of that freaking cult costume I had to wear, right? Graduation, I was like, I feel like
oh yeah, I saw it. I remember Kappa Gal, but she did her hat, y'all.
And then they're like,
love always wins, and I was like, oh
yeah. And then but then the hooding, they're like, you have to get hooded. I'm like, what kind of hood?
Yeah, not a white one or nothing.
Not good at all. I don't want to get hooded.
I think of David Warwick.
You see me going like, I'm all confused. I'm like stepping in the wrong, I'm shaking the wrong hand. And then I just walked past the person that was supposed to. I just was like,
how many times can one graduate? I'm joking. Hey, girl, you killing it. Well, look, this lady right here.
I guess I'll clarify. They let me walk
ahead early.
I completely finished the requirements for 1 degree. I cannot be awarded that degree because I was in a dual program. So I have to finish this capstone to actually get awarded the degree. But they let you walk if you're within like a semester or 2.
Right. I've heard that happening in high school too, where you can take a summer school class or something. But let's look at this. It says, this woman right here says, my concern is that, quote, Spencer, that's Thomas G. Harrison, okay, has remained anonymous. How do we know this isn't fiction? This is very concerning that this book is used as scripture in this video and not just this video presentation. Yo,
Right.
I'm telling you. And so this is a reply. It is fiction. Look at the book. The Savior has never operated like this. The author used known end time timeline events, weaved a story around it, but LDS people, she's a hater. LDS people that cannot distinguish between the way the spirit actually works and their hallmark reaction of good, feeling good. That's exactly what Tim Ballard in his movie. And now we have people waiting their time on fictional trash elevator more than the truth written about how his gospel works and his end times timeline. I'm going to like that. It's not often. And so here we go. Come follow me. This is Mike and Nancy James. They're saying, not true. We have filmed Tom Harrison. Oh, bam. Cat's out the bag.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh.
Several times. He's not so anonymous. Maybe he hadn't been. But he
And
needs to be called out.
The spelling.
He needs to be called out. I'm telling you. He spoke at the Isaiah Institutes. That's Abraham Giuliani right there. Zion. And this is also David Warwick. This is David Warwick's buds. Okay. Conference at UVU Ballroom, which we filmed in 2018. This is them. This is how they argue. And this is how they tell on themselves every time, no matter what you're talking about. Last week I brought y'all, or whatever day Chud's canceled hearing happened. And oh my God, it was about whether Lori was excommunicated or not. And it was like 169 comments. And there was this one lady who said, and she was arguing, but she also said, in rebuttal to another commenter who had put, about the 7 years abuse that the church covered up, yada, 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 the AP story, in Arizona. And the Mormon commenter said, I know plenty of stories like that. Some that you probably don't even know. And I'm thinking, you just argued that more cover-up stories. Yeah, it's like that kind of, you just admitted more, just to be like, this is exactly the like-minded behavior.
And it's a large mental health conference. Oh my,
at the Little America.
Because I doubt it helped.
We filmed that. Okay, yeah. So he helped put on a large mental. So he also, Tim Ballard. I'll show it to you in just a minute. We filmed that with many dignitaries. What? Oh, here we go. That's exactly what happened. And I didn't know this was here. I just clicked on. I just decided to troll through the comments while we were here. So
comments are gold. You taught me that.
Comments are gold. Dignitary. Including an LDS general authority. So there you go. This is where these people, if Chad and Lori did start their own cult, it would be because of bullshit like this.
Mm-hmm.
So they write Mike and Nancy James, one or the other. Either way, it's their company, their business. Tom they used to do preparing of people for those who don't know. Tom has had has served as bishop. They're laymen, right? Right. So they're not anything big. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't say they're laymen whenever it's an argument for, like mandatory reporting and things like that. Rob Wood was a bishop. Okay. Meaning he would know who would have a second anointing. Okay. He would help do the questioning for the temple recommend questions. Anyway, as a bishop around that time, he has had a long-standing counseling career. Let me tell you, okay? That terrifies me. And he's, anyways, and has helped thousands of people and clients who needed, oh, there we go. I see it coming. Who needed a lot of help, including many children. Nope, they're lying. Who were rescued in the OUR operations for Tim Ballard. Watch the new movie. This is how they drop. This is how they credit themselves. This is how they give themselves merit. I found out that he also was, oh, of course, was my niece's counselor for years when her husband passed away. I wonder what he died of.
That's
Leaving
great.
her with 4 little kids. Again, I want to know what he died of. At the time, her husband was one of the main people working on the LDS online tithing app programming. Well, I'm scared. She shared with me that Tom had been like her lifeline during those difficult years. We have filmed him. God, that's a long reply. We have filmed Tim Ballard many times and saw some of the Sound of Freedom 4 years ago before COVID hit. Yeah, it's been supposed to come out since 2018. Okay, that's nothing big, nothing new. The movie couldn't be released. It couldn't be released because they couldn't they didn't have nobody to, I think it's called promote, or I don't know the lingo. But the movie couldn't be released, but all in God's timing, right? And she says, you are making conclusions you know nothing about. Thomas Harrison didn't write the book. Here we go. Semantics. Visions of Glory. John Pontius did, because he knew his experience could bless many people. Well, he is literally a ghostwriter because he is dead. Anyways, but Tom did not want any credit. So then why are you boasting him now? Or notoriety? And that's because he was too close. He was serving a calling, in my opinion. It's elusive. You know, if you got to write a book, be proud of it. At least Chad did that.
Probably would have. You know, the thing is
look at Bruce McConkie.
If any negative publicity would have landed on the church,
yeah,
that's why he was anonymous.
Yep. Look at Bruce McConkie, Mormon doctrine. Okay, they never disavowed it. They just said, you know, there were leaders that were like, nah,
like, hey,
we're not going with that. But it's like a hush hush. It's both sides of the mouth all the time. You know, they're like, it's just like when I told you I went into safety, and, you know, a lot of safety, not me, people would say to the construction workers, they say, okay, it's wet outside, you know, like it just rained. Hurry up. Be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that same double. You can't have both. You can't work in a hurry and be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it don't work. And with slippery surfaces, and, you know, no.
It's dangerous.
That's very. And so same concept. And so that is why it was shared anonymously. He still doesn't want notoriety. Well, you know what? We're going to bring it.
You're just like giving it to him, lady.
Right.
So
they give him platform.
Assume it's her. I guess I should probably assume it's her stupid ass husband.
I don't know. There's emojis, so I don't know. Chad did emojis too, so and as we discussed many times, his experience won't be for everyone. And in fact, oh shit, as President Nelson says, in a coming day, we will not survive without personal revelation, not somebody else's.
Which
just
is
saying.
What we said in a conference talk.
Right, but oh yeah, you're good at that stuff. But can we learn from each other and all of our collective experiences? Sure. Yeah, but you can't be like, I believe whatever. I don't know how many times I heard this on the stand in Lori's trial. I believe whatever is true, and the church is true, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I believe in them.
Yeah.
I sustain, you know, the prophet is, you know what I mean? That whole thing. David Warwick did it. So did the Gilberts. Who I don't know. Okay, so why do we have scripture? I'm sorry. Why do we have scripture and study the lives and examples of all the prophets and prophetesses? I'm just kidding. Of ancient times or early saints, if we're not meant to bless, warn, and uplift. Can y'all stop with the blessings already? Okay, again, I'm going to make this known because you sneeze in Utah or Idaho, you don't hear nothing. You don't hear bless you. Nothing like that. I'm from the South. We say bless you. After 2 times, you know, you're on your own. That's like the, you know what I mean? Like the, what do you call it?
Oh, Didn't you point that out to me? Because like you sneezed or something and I didn't say anything.
There's just things like when somebody opens a door for you, you say thank you. Like I remember you telling me, you're like, you're so nice.
I know.
And I'm just like,
Like,
what?
people are
I
nice.
don't know. It's just the way we're raised.
Well,
And
we were at City Creek too, and all the snots shop at City Creek.
everybody looks the same. Everybody. I was just like, where's
everybody.
all the black people?
We don't exist in Salt Lake.
I saw
It's
4
fine.
black people the entire, 6 weeks, 7 weeks I was up in Boise. 4. One
Well,
was mopping the floors in the hotel.
well, I think in Utah, it's like it's less than 2% of the population
I'm just
is
saying.
black. And I don't know what it is in Idaho, but I assume similar. Yeah, there's not, I mean, you saw all blonde. Everyone's blonde.
All look like Lori, just in spandex or prom dresses.
Oh.
I was like, what the hell?
That one lady that walked by us, I was like, Jesus.
Mm.
Did she freaking go through a portal? Because she, like, from behind her, I was like,
Yeah, totally. It's so crazy. It's so different. I'm telling you, I was like, we parked in that undercar garage or whatever. That was heavy. I was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like this.
I know.
It was just real heavy down there.
Yeah.
It was heavy. But Trace, my girl Trace, she always sends me pictures. She lives in the same area or around the same area. She frequents the same area as Melanie Pulowski. And so she sends me pictures of her flipping Melanie Pulowski's house off or the temple. And I get so much joy and satisfaction out of that because I do the same. I just don't have any here. So I save them all for when I go over there.
If I did, it would be every 5. I mean, they're on every corner.
Yeah. Just like the blessings, right? That's all you heard from. Look, Ian said the blessings were flying. So I wish people, Mormons, please stop sending blessings. Maybe it's a different definition. I need to go look it up. Maybe blessing means I'm praying for you, or that terminal. I don't know. Yeah, lots and lots of definitions are different.
Yeah.
Oh, anyways, that was a long explanation. Or the early saints, if we're not to bless, warn, and uplift, please be careful with tearing others down. They just did it in a passive aggressive way.
That's how it works here.
Or making comments in ignorance. No offense intended, because we are all lacking. No, they're gods. They're way better.
Like, wow, you're really heavy. Just kidding.
Hey, that's one of my favorite memes. Okay, there's this cartoon thing woman, and she's looking in the mirror and she goes, out of all the lies I've told, just kidding is my favorite. And I'm like, yeah.
I just remember I had an aunt or cousin or one of them. There's a lot of them. And that was something that they would say the rudest things, and they'd be like, just kidding. And it's like, it's still fucking rude.
Yeah, it is.
When I was a little kid, so all I could do was like cry. It wasn't funny.
It's a way for us to and I'm wrong for doing it too. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not perfect. I'm not at all.
Well, but
I don't think I ever put that off. But I mean, with all the blessings they were doing, I mean, maybe lay off casting and blessing and dubbing and killing. We're good. And firing loins and shit.
Clearly they didn't work.
Right.
Clearly you're praying, Melanie Gibb and all. Clearly that like if I were them, I don't know how they are not atheists if they're decent people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying you should be an atheist or anything. I'm just saying that when I saw the light, when I realized and came to my decision,
yeah,
it was extremely difficult to say, well, maybe. I mean, I was like, well, if that's a lie, maybe
because you discredit God completely.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, like, you see on all the ex-Mormon channels, most of them are atheists now.
Yep. Or Gnostics or something.
I don't know, but
I think that's a travesty. And I don't. Again, I respect everyone's beliefs too, but I do think it is it's part of their plan. It's their master deceivers. How I see it from a spiritual sense, I don't know what God looks like. I don't go by scriptures. I just know in my heart, like I just know there's something bigger, and whatever that is, I love that. And that does not make me a shitty person. It makes me strive to be a better person. And so what bothers me is that you're not given a disclaimer or a warning or the choice when you're just, converted over to LD, to Mormon or whatever. Nobody tells you that. They say it's the one true church, and that the rest of us are Gentiles, and you're the only ones that can deliver truth to everybody else in the world. And so it just, to me, so whenever somebody does go through a faith crisis and somebody does, find out that it's been just a huge lie, then it completely turns many Mormons who become ex-Mormons, it turns them away from God, period. And that, to me, is just part of Satan's plan.
Yeah.
Like it's just, well, it worked, But then again, I'd rather people be atheists. I really would. And then to worship a false god, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, whatever floats your boat, as long as you're not, I don't know, fucking murdering people or.
Yeah, it's not cool.
That's scary to me that they're talking about like that they were at a mental health conference. I was looking it up. I can't find one. I do know that there's like this group. I can't remember the name of it, but they always come up to testify up at the Capitol against, any type of against me and my friends, my club, my cult.
I love all cults.
And they're always like, and this is why it's so funny, because they go way overboard. So I'm sitting there and this guy's like, I testified and I was like, okay, well, the APA did all these studies and da 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 da, and I get done. And he's like, I have a book right here. And there are 150 studies in here saying, how it's a choice, all his anti-LGBT stuff. And I'm like, a book you wrote has 150 studies conclusively. And the legislature's like, oh, okay. Like, I'm like, no.
Yeah. But
I
can't believe how ignorant I've been to
the level of there is a certain naivety in Utah, I think, that maybe there is in other states, but I feel like when people assert themselves as an authority here, nobody questions. Like that guy got up, I quoted freaking Supreme Court decisions and a couple Ninth Circuit decisions, and went through and talked about the APA, and they were like, science. And then he gets up and I'm like, you don't even know who this douchebag is. Like, you don't know what his credentials are.
No, go research. Do your own research.
No.
I mean, and like with Tim Ballard, what he is with his movie that's based on allegedly a true story, which is not. It's not. Go look at Lynn Packer's whole catalog there. He's got a lot of shit, and he's thorough. He's a thorougist. And I appreciate that about him, and he came from a Mormon background. But I mean, just because, let's think of somebody who the movie was based off of their true life, normally, right? Normally. I'm looking at documentaries right now and trying to find just one that would make a good, example. But okay, so just whatever. This movie was based off of this person. Why are people go stroll through the comments, and if you're not for it, then you must be one of the pedophiles, and you must want trafficking. It's black and white. You're either for the church, you're against the church, you're either for the movie, or you're doing it. Just like, Holy shit.
And to me, it's like when people are like that, it's like, I mean, you know, like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know,
It
sometimes.
freaked me out because I was like, oh my God, Jason, I'm not at all. There's not a political bone in my body. I'm just anti corruption, anti murder, and anti people who enable this shit or produce this shit. And that's what this, in my opinion, that's what the church does. They produce the victims. They do, because it's like they're the predators prey on good-hearted people. I mean, the traits for Utah is the capital
Fraud.
for
Yeah.
fraud.
I mean, the FBI is like, no, I mean, fraud, because people trust their neighbors. Oh, he would never sell me this
In your ward
portfolio. He is my bishop.
while they're part of an MLM.
And you see this when it comes
The
to
church.
abuse, and I saw it in my own ward. I witnessed it, experienced. Other words, you find out that these leaders are like molesting children, or I don't, what do I have to call it? Like on a monetized channel,
Yeah,
they're
not the
they're doing
they're
horrible things.
diddling. I've been hearing diddling.
Yeah, like a lot of times, and I don't think it's as common anymore, but you were blamed if you were a victim. It was flat out, what did you do? So the state president did that, huh?
The same thing
There's
happens with all these, people who are saying that, like Asia Rain, these ritual victims whose stories, who am I to discredit their stories? That'd be like me discrediting Colby's story. I don't know either way, and it's none of my business either way. Like some things are my business, some things are not. And that's just, I just take it, and there's the information. I have it. I don't want to say, no, you're wrong, because who am I to take that away from somebody? If that really did happen, then it's, again, none of my business. And that's not for me to decide. So I just think that the whole discrediting victims, they turn them into, they label them.
Mm-hmm.
They label them. And then that's exactly what happens to a Mormon whenever they're having a faith crisis and they leave the church. Then, they are, their rest of their whole life, everybody they love, everything that they love, their structure, their jobs, things lay on the line. And so whenever they leave, then they're like, why can't they leave the church alone? Because they're trying to send you a life raft. They're trying to get you out and see the light, whether that's just to get out of the church or to not believe in God at all. Whatever it is to get you out of that harmful situation that's using and abusing you, and you're just like, oh no, my prophet is perfect and I sustain the church and all that shit. And I'm going to pay them too to tell me what to do. Tell me if I'm worthy enough.
My full tithe over food for my children.
It's just bad to me. It's slavery in its own kind, in its own form.
It's like indentured.
Totally.
In some ways, because you do. We were on church welfare for a short amount of time, and
I've been on food stamps.
And there's some, there's some kind of a nice thing about it, or what I used to think, which was, if you're receiving assistance, then you should serve others. And there's like that whole thing. But there's also like, okay, but you have people that literally are already working 3 jobs, and you're like, well, we'll give you assistance, but you also have to do this and this and this and this and this and this and
conditions,
and you have to do, and then it's not even applied evenly. There are a lot of issues overall. Like, there are good, I can't say like that it's kind of the same with corporate greed. It's like, yeah, corporations are greedy bastards and they just want profits. But
mega churches, that's what I was trying to think of. Mega churches.
Can I really be like, okay, but they do good things too. So if they, I have like, oh, but they do
so much harm. It outweighed to me, but that's my introduction to the Book of Mormon was through murder. So my experience is different. Not everybody's is the same. Not everybody's going to see it the same way I do, and that's fine. That's fine. I love humans. I love humanity. We're all human. We're not, we don't have to be anything. We can just be ourselves. Like that should be good enough for everybody.
Yeah.
And, we put these social, just these stereotypes on people, and that's not cool. My he's 14. He was like, I'm this, I'm that. And I was like, Bub, you're you. Just you're a kid. Just be a kid. You don't have to decide all these things right now unless that makes you feel better. But don't let society, your classmates, whatever, you don't have to decide this right now. Just know that. You don't have to sit there and go, am I a pea or a carrot? You're Lee. You're Leland. And yeah,
we love you, and like we have conversations about labels all the time because I like labels because I feel comforted by them.
Yeah.
And like I always talk about how, but for so long, for me, it's like, I finally know who I am, and like there is a definition of it.
Like me with the autism thing. Yeah. Like I identify with it.
She doesn't like labels. She doesn't like any of that stuff. And we talk about it. And I'm always like, but the thing is, when you are a repressed kid growing up in a religious cult,
you had labels. They gave you labels.
Well, and you are, and that was a good point you brought up. You're like, well, I'm not who I'm supposed to be. So am I just like who? And so when you find out like, oh, this is and by labeling that there are other people that identify that way, then you have like this almost kind of relationship with that.
Right. I mean, it's like finding your community, like here, my channel, like this community that I didn't even know was happening. Happened, and KJ was like, hey girl, you got a community, you got to show up. And I was like, whoa. And it gave me like this whole sense of, oh my God, I didn't intend for that, but it kind of happened. I'm glad it happened. And now I want to show up. Now I want to be there.
I miss
I found my tribe, and I love it.
Really a lot. I cry about it because I miss this, and I miss everything that
you're missed.
And
just know that.
Me and maybe one day I'll come back, especially if I don't get a job.
Monetize that shit.
I mean, I said Sean Reyes'
name. Don't monetize dead children autopsies or any autopsies for that matter. Right. And again, I'm just gonna put this out there because maybe I didn't say it for everyone to hear in the back. But Zap Girl is not the only one that does this. I remember getting offended, hurt by people saying, hey, we got the FOIA docs. They do cost a certain amount of money, but they don't make you $60,000 a year. I'll tell you that right now, or whatever, $1,000 a year. So when people started backdooring them, that's when the information, I told y'all there was a point where the information just, I was like, where the hell is all that? Thank God I screenshot shit. That's why I have trust issues, and hello, they are on point. But I mean, so then you have FOIA docs coming in, and then people are like, yep, you can get them on my Patreon. So then I was like, well, screw it. I'm going to try and, I mean, if you're going to pay for it and you're going to do it, come get them over here where I can at least, it'll help support and maybe fund wherever I'm going with this, nonprofit. It costs money. All this shit costs money. It's crazy. So always,
I have like $1,000 of equipment down in outer darkness that I'm like,
she was like, I'd give it to you. I was like, I wish I could pack it.
Yeah, I was like, here's the lights, here's the camera, here's a mic. I have all this shit.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
and I was like, no, she's going to come back. You know, I hope you do. And I
I
mean,
really miss
you
it.
don't owe it to anybody but yourself. If that's what you want to do, then do you, boo.
You too, Ethan.
But
Yeah,
just know that you're missed. You're loved, Michelle, everybody, the dog, Ellie, the
yeah.
bird.
Do you know? I'm going to tell you what you guys have seen Ellie. Most of you, if not, she looks kind of like a rat, um, covered in curly fur. It's not attractive when she has wet hair. Kind of like me. It's like, eh.
Sorry.
She's like a
The
poodle mix. So anyway, my dog, or she's actually the Life's dog. She was mine, but anyway, she learned. I have a heated blanket because I don't get circulation in my legs. So even in the summer when it's 100 degrees, I have a heated blanket, and it's a tap on. She's figured it out. And at first I was like, nah, I left it on. No, like I will walk in there in the middle of the day and I'm like, why is a blanket on high? And she's just laying on it like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, yeah, like she did the first 2 times. I was like, nah, I left it on. And then the other day I was like, oh, she figured it out. Cause she's the same way. She must have circulation problems too. Oh, Shriners in Salt Lake. There's a Shriners here.
Yeah, there's Shriners everywhere. My great grandfather was a Shriner. So whenever the whole, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Oh,
you.
okay. So whenever the whole, like I started learning about Freemasonry and how it correlated heavily with Joseph Smith, I was like, oh my God. You know, so I'm like, they're not all bad. You know, like it's not like oh my God, they're all dark. You know, you can't have that kind of thinking. And I mean, because there was at one point whenever I was like, oh my God, the whole church is possessed. They're all bad people. But I mean, and by that I meant like leadership and stuff. And um, while I still feel the same about the leadership, they're shitty people, in my opinion, who do not care about their lambs, so to speak. Not my family, at least. You know, it just bothered me. It was the most unchristlike behavior I've ever witnessed in my life. The way that people acted around Chad and Lori, the inner circle, and then you have the leadership. I mean, it's a pretty big case, right? I mean, they've even interjected themselves, in my opinion. And I think in order to drive it, you know, I really do. Unless I see some hard evidence, I mean, it just the way it played out, and I'm just like, you're, you know, you try not to judge people, but when you see the same kind of bad behaviors, the same play over and over and over again, you're like, well, what makes this different than anything else?
Well, I know, like, at first, I'm echoing on my end. Hopefully, I'm not echoing.
You're not echoing on this end, unless you're echoing in the chat. I don't know.
Hopefully, I'm not.
They'll let us know.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. I guess at first, you know, I thought the judge, so-called judge, whatever.
Yeah.
I
Steven.
thought that they were just very careful. And
Yeah.
okay, very cautious. But then what I feel like I saw, and I definitely saw it after Larry was he on News Nation?
Oh, News Nation when Ashley Benfield cut him off.
Yeah. Well, you got kind of cut off too when you were on
Cuomo.
Yeah, I was kind of like, hey, she was going to say something really cool.
Yeah, they don't care.
But there was like, it's this, like, don't fuck with my authority kind of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're, it's a savior complex, God complex, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like persecution complex mixed with like when somebody tells, like let's say there's a Mormon or something, and let's say they have a channel just like this, and they're talking about my story. They're telling you about my story. That story then morphs into them, and they become the victim. I don't know what that's called, but
like
it's kind of
Oxy type of thing.
it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what to call it because I'm not a professional or
I have
anything.
heard that happens in true crime. Like people.
It's like it's like a second victimization, or it's tragedy pimps.
Yeah.
It's its own form of pimping the tragedy and playing on people's emotions. There's one, I mean, I understand the story needs to be told, but not when you say, and it affects me so bad. And oh my God, I had to look at the picture. I had to do this. And you didn't have to. The family does though, like the person the one person you are talking about, it affected them. It affects them. And so you can't take that from them.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm not explaining right. So nobody hold me to that, but because I don't know what that is, but it's very prevalent. I mean, it's reoccurring, some people do it really well. Some people not so much, and it's really weird. It's weird being on this side of crime.
It's very
unique,
strange to watch.
Yeah, that too.
Because it's very like
still
very
protective.
predatory. Yeah, I tend to be, but like you said, like there is some good, but then when something happens like what just happened, I mean, when we were texting, I was like, okay, but let's not forget that a lot of people that are out there like saying how horrible this YouTuber is and how disgusting are doing it too.
They're the very same ones that are pimping out the FOIA docs, and you heard it. You got get it here first. It's like it's not like those types of things are not exclusive. It's for the world. It's a Freedom of Information Act. That's just that part of it,
Well, and those documents, those pictures came with those. Like you just get what you get.
Yeah, you can't just pick and choose.
You have the choice to say, I'm not going to put that out there, or
that's the moral obligation. It's not a legal obligation.
And they don't put anything out there because they're like, this is not good. I'm not going to put that out there.
I wish that I had the link to share that Gannon's mom started petition or whatever. So I don't know if the moderators, if y'all know the link to where people can go sign for what happened to Gannon. Oh my God, Stout. I just went blank. His mom started a petition, and so I don't have that link right away. I might be able to grab it, or if somebody can, or if somebody knows it, please feel free to share it. I would love to. I need to go sign it. But anywho, I don't know. It's just some weird shit.
I think where it was disappointing for me is it was like, oh, I thought she was one of the decent ones.
Yeah, I did too. But
see that coming.
She's the only one that got caught.
So I mean, a year ago, I mean, I really haven't watched it. I've stayed away from YouTube. I've been very like.
Yes, you have.
Basically. So it's sad to see someone do that and be like,
and to see so many others just being like dogging her, and I'm like, whoa, you don't get to do that. You don't get to call that. You don't get to do that. You don't get to throw shade on somebody else when you're guilty of doing it yourself. You just didn't do maybe that part, but what's different?
Maybe you were smarter than like.
You just didn't get found out. You just weren't the one they made an example out of. Just like me when I drank and drove and I got a DWI, a much deserved DWI. but that didn't mean that I didn't deserve 90 DWIs. You know what I'm saying? Like I just got caught that time. And
Yeah.
I'm glad because I went through all the classes, I did. And I really, people were bitching about being there. I know it's, a DWI versus a dead child's photos. It's just you have to be responsible. You have to be accountable for your own actions, whether you like the punishment or not. And so if I were Zav Girl, and if I were other YouTubers, just stop. Just lead by example. There's Alex Erickson and Jen Liu and Criminality, and a couple others that I've been kind of, watching and everything, and they're doing it by example. They kind of call everything out, like here it all is. But what do we do? What have we done? How can we change?
Right.
You know, And so I really respect that, because a lot of times we can lose sight of what is really what we do, how it affects other people.
Yeah.
And it's just
And there's
it's
like a competitive
good. Yeah, it's nothing but competition.
I mean,
Mhm.
it's a lot of like, they want to be the first person to get it out. And
Mhm.
then, like we've talked about that, like, yeah, but, and even like True Crime Sushi and I would talk about that. It's like,
Yeah,
but
I
everyone,
love it. Amy, True Crime Sushi is so very neutral. She's such a neutral person. I love that about her.
I have to
You
like,
know,
I'll leave her voice, like we leave each other voice memos, and I'll be like, okay, this is what happened, and this is like personal life stuff, and I'm like, and I'm really pissed, and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And she's like,
yes, but
and I'm like,
she'll say,
oh, really?
she'll say you is kind, you is smart, you is important.
Yeah.
She's very uplifting. Like during when I was in Boise, you was kind, you was smart, you was important. I love that little quote. That's such a good. She just is positive and puts that out there, and I really do appreciate that. Because and she don't get into the drama, or she don't.
Mhm.
She's just kind of like, well, she's
been
very
around,
neutral.
she's been around a long time, so she's
Yeah,
seen a lot of shit. So, but yeah, I mean, just in our personal, um, a lot of
oh,
stuff got on in my personal life too. So,
there she is. That's Jen Liu,
oh,
the
there
ward
we go.
case studies. You're welcome. You can pick my brain anytime. She wants to pick my brain. Jen, let her know what it is to pick my brain. Then
It's
you end up being friends and like having this whole shit
no, but
mess.
there's so much insight. Like you observe, you notice things
Big
that I
time.
never noticed. Like when you told me, and this is probably the greatest thing
And I said
anybody
this in a loving way, though. It was very.
She goes, you know what I noticed? And she said it in her Southern way, which is always very lovely. I wish I had that same kind of thing. She's like, you know what I noticed? Mormons, even ex-Mormons, kind of think everything's about them. And I was like, oh, I
I
do
watched
that.
this guy, though. I watched this guy, and I mean, but he's very like, oh, the church. They know that I put a video out, and I'm like, I don't think that's how that works. Like, oh, what? I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean,
So
people
General Conference comes around, and so all Mormons are like, oh my God, did you hear President Nelson? He said, da, 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 da. They really focus and hone in and analyze the shit out.
yeah. Oh crap, you
And
broke
I'm
up.
just like, hey, okay, I've had that feeling when I've gone or, to church or something. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like God's talking to me right now. There's a spotlight and it's like, oh, and I'm like, oh, okay. But that's just between me and my God. That's not
Kind of
the
personal.
man standing up at a pulpit, just and whistling. He does I can't do it. His S's. He sounds like the dude,
Oh
the
yeah.
cartoon character on Bart.
I always wonder.
Family Guy.
I always wonder. Maybe it's because I'm in health. I always wonder, did he have that God complex while he was a surgeon? probably because he was a cardiac surgeon, and they do have a complex, just like neurosurgeons do. Which would you want? But on the same token, do you want a cardiac surgeon or a neurosurgeon that isn't full of himself? I don't. I want someone
I think that somebody should, whoever is the I think should close the church down. There you go. No, but I mean, really, I think that somebody should at least be ecclesiastic. I mean, as far as scripturally, have that doctorate. What do you call it?
Doctrine.
Have a degree in Mormonology, Josephology, and then you can be up there preaching. You know.
To me, it's really interesting because when you look at, like when they say, "Oh, Mormon leaders they're laymen," like
they're stories, man.
So of course, but that's only when it's convenient. Like, you know, when they decide they don't want to talk about planets anymore because it's weird and people are finding out, like suddenly, oh well, everyone's a layman. They didn't quite think that right. Okay, well, it says it pretty clearly. But you know, if you look at the leaders and you look at the wealth, and they're not like so with, you know, he worked in middle management at Costco Wholesale. It's like he owns a finance. These guys are attorneys,
whole dealership, and
CEO. I mean, they are very wealthy.
Yeah, people. They're very
and that's how you get to the top of the church.
That's it. And then it stays there. Then they get paid.
Oh yeah. I mean, they say like, you don't have any paid clergy. It's like, well, they do get, like, they get top of the line healthcare,
and their kids and their wives. I'm sure. I said wives.
Like, friggin', what is he? 97, 98 now.
He's older than cow shit. Yes.
I mean, I'm like, he either ate like flawlessly. Or
that's that adrenochrome, yo. I'm just picking. I don't know.
You were gonna say that. I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't bring it up.
No.
But, I mean, that is one thing. Everyone's always like, I've gotten comments on my channel before. It's like, oh, we knew you were Mormon because you look young and, you know.
That's that adrenochrome, yo.
I promise I never drink it.
It's Lori Vallow's water.
I don't even know what it is.
Hydrogen. It's got the hydrogen in it.
No, they but that is how, I mean, that is, if you have wealth, you are going to be a very successful leader in the church.
Yeah.
Because then you give a lot of money to the church.
Circle jerk. It's all who you know. And I did it wrong. Anyways, there's circle jerk pocket pool is what I call it.
You know what? By the way, the wife the other day, you know, she was like, "Oh, I was in Crush's life," and I was
yeah.
I haven't come out of my cave in 3 weeks, but
yeah.
She's like, yeah, and so didn't know what who did she say? Someone didn't know what did you guys call it? A purse pocket, a pocket purse,
prison pocket,
a prison pocket,
prison pocket.
And I'm like typing, and I go, I don't know what one of those is. And she's like, are you serious? And I'm like, no.
Just use your imagination.
Yeah. She's like, prison pocket. She's like, one of the, because he didn't show up. And I said, oh, well, he probably didn't show up because his butt hurts. And I was like, yeah, we were talking about that.
His literal butt hurts. Y'all, I don't think I want to go to that trial because, I mean, I'd rather watch paint dry. It's about the same equivalent. Yeah, watching Chad, he's just like, I'm like, oh, no. I don't know what he looked like before, but I mean, I've seen videos and, you know, of him.
He was always pretty dumpy.
And I'm just like, I mean, I'm awkward. I'm like, you know, and I do stupid shit all the time. But he is just like, I mean, what the F, Lori, did you see? It had to be demon possession because, you know, I've heard, look, I'm from the South. I'm from Louisiana and they have voodoo, and there's like women that'll put blood in your food, and this is allegedly, I don't know, hopefully not in my food, but and it's like, so it's like a spell, da 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 da, and I'm just like, oh my god, can you imagine what's being conjured up in them circles in a temple where they can laugh loud now?
The castings are just
Stupid.
well.
It's intentions to me.
One of those things that I was like, I don't know. And then I read my, like, and you have it now. I don't have it anymore. Like, Diary of My Ancestor. And she's like, talking about depossessing her children.
Yeah.
Like, literally, she's like,
it's nothing new.
Like, she was acting weird. And so I cast the devil out of her. And I'm like,
right.
Oh my
when
God.
when I see headlines or titles like that, I'm like, oh my, stop it. I saw this one chick on Dr. Phil, and I was just like, okay, anyways. But yeah, he likes to come here. She, I don't know, likes to come here and rattle my cage. Actually, he just likes to test my my knowledge.
The Southern Charm.
Yeah. So he just they want us to know that they do the Love Conference. And so I think that's stellar. That is stellar.
I love naps too.
Do you go Hosanna? I
never did that.
Yeah. Jason, I played it the other day, and Jason, he out of town. I was like, don't do it too. Don't.
Yeah, and that's from that TikToker. What's his name? Because I want to shout him out.
Well, so I saw it on this one.
Jack Mormon. There's a TikToker named Jack Mormon, and a lot of like the funny little clips that I would play in my videos, and I would always credit him. But if you guys want to just see like funny quick videos, and he's right on, like he is very right on. So I would recommend following him just for fun.
One spin. You'll probably get looped into two. Right?
Yeah, I can't watch TikTok because
I can't either. I'm like, wait, what'd they say? Before I even can, like, I have to watch it because I'm like, oh, okay, I see who's talking, or I'm like, I don't get the full picture that fast. So maybe it's a certain type of TikTok. I don't know.
I just think TikTok's like for people like us that are ADHD. Like my kid that is on it is like, oh, if a video lasts longer than 15 seconds, I'm out.
And it's more, but it's also, I think it's, and this is what I've read. I don't know if it's true. I'm just throwing it out there. Always remember to do your own research. You like that?
And always remember when you do your own research that's not on Facebook or in YouTube.
Like go outside of it.
Go to academia. Whatever, or
just like look it all up and scroll through the first 2 pages.
Don't be one of those people that's like, I saw a study, because let me tell you, there's hundreds and hundreds of studies that you have to sift through. And let me see if I have it. Hold on.
And then kind of make your, assumption, you know what I mean? And I don't know, I just never nailed a one thing. I remember you telling me before, you were like, oh my God, wait, no, not them, and I was like, well, no, I mean, I get it from everywhere. I take what I need from everywhere.
Yeah, a couple of the websites you sent me, I was like, oh.
Yeah. You're like, that's a cult. I was like, it's okay.
That's not. No, like you can make up statistics for anything. That's why you got to.
I think this is what happens with Operation Underground Railroad, allegedly, in my opinion, which Tim did leave.
Oh. Right
after the was released.
They've scrubbed every reference between him and the old Ballard dude.
So I learned the other day that M. Russell Ballard is just a friend, and I was thinking that's his grandson.
Well, I did some deep diving in the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, I like the Wayback Machine.
I think I sent it, I found it in like some deep dark corner of Reddit.
There's always.
And it's like, okay, well, he actually referred to him in a talk as a family member. I don't know what
I was like, why would you have the same damn last name? I mean, I get that happens,
it's kind
but
of like saying,
then you go places, and he backed, M. Russell Ballard, according to Lynn Packer, allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, backed, funded, helped. He was partner, and he's a silent. There's 3 that are out there, and then the 4th one's always hidden, right, Jen?
right, 3 unseen.
Anyways, there's a forerunner and a da. Yeah. So he's a silent partner, and he backed the Timmy.
Yeah.
For the movie.
Yeah, so they had to know each other.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I know.
Anyways.
I guess it's a common last name. I mean, but as far as like Mr. Utah Attorney General,
Sean Reyes.
one of the interesting things is that I read, and this was not this was like a Trib article or something, that they went to a trafficking scene in West Valley, and he got in trouble. Now, this is someone who's an attorney general. Like, this is either extreme stupidity.
Which David Levitt ran for attorney general. Sean Reyes was his
brother was governor.
Neither one of them are good. In my opinion.
But anyway, he like completely contaminated the crime scene. Like, like crossword. Like, can you imagine the balls you must have to think that you're entitled to, and you got to know you're contaminating it. And then he was like taking pictures with his cell phone.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, there's just he's really out there.
They were doing things like, we're gonna do a raid, and then I think this was like in Park City. They said they were gonna do this big raid, and like they wanted it on like camera, and then they got there, and it was like
it's staged. So it's staged. What they're selling to people is staged. It's based off of staged stings, that they got paid to bring. Is like a ride along, like what you would do to ride along with a cop on on his beat. This is the same thing, except you get to ride in a helicopter and these paramilitary, like the para jumping and all this stuff. And it's just like, come on, people. Yes, we are against sex trafficking, child sex, especially. None of it should take place. But also, the guy who's representing it is also not so. I'm gonna be nice. Just do your own research. Use your own imagination.
Here's the thing: when you take money from a polygamous group or groups, and I mean a lot of campaign money from them, and then you act like you're getting your rocks off. I mean, to me, it's like they just want to look,
It's all talking the part. It's never doing it.
You never do anything to help those girls and women that are caught. I mean,
the Smart, Ed, Kristen Smart even parted. They were like, no.
Yeah,
they undid their ties and everything, and I was just like,
I'm sure she's smart. She's pretty smart.
Her last name is Smart. No,
true. But yeah, I mean, he did that, and then he took, and I actually went back, and there's been a lot of donations kind of scrubbed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's weird.
Errors, tabulation errors.
Here's my advice to Gannon Stouck's family. Go get the Mormons to wipe the whole internet, and those pictures of Gannon won't be out there, because they are some master scrubbing bubbles.
They really are.
Until later. Watch until after Chad's trial's adjudicated. I swear to God, if the Jameses or anybody else comes out with, you heard it here first, with some exclusive, there's a 10-part series just in his dreams and visions and stuff that got scrubbed, removed. Don't come out with it then, because I swear to you right now, we'll hunt you down. And I'm like a dog with a bone, and I won't do nothing to you, but you will regret it.
Yeah. No, I think
don't make money off of this when you sat there like a coward, being a coward and not taking up for these kids and just distancing yourself and protecting yourself, nobody else but yourself. That is complicity, in my opinion, and shame on you.
Well, the one thing that, when they have like that certain immunity, what that tells me, what that hopefully tells me, and yes, is it Denisha or Denise? Yeah. So true. That's why I held the book up, because I'm like, you can make up, and it's not just like there's like this Harvard professor that just got caught like screwing with her data and like.
Thank you, Em. Thanks, Em.
Yeah,
Appreciate
there's like
it.
a total. Of course, they're not. Thank you. But there's like a total thing. Like they'll be like, oh, there's 10 different things you have to look at when you get a statistical result, which is what I'm going through right now. And, if you just say one, like that's not a true result. But yeah, I can't remember what I was just.
That's okay. We all. I was too busy with the comments. Thank you, Em. I really appreciate it. You keep me on my toes. And I like that. I don't like a bunch of yes men.
Yeah.
I like that,
No, I think
so I do it with love too. Just know that.
Yeah.
There's enough room for all of us.
Let's see.
Yeah, I concur with what DJ Norman says. I believe that.
Oh, Detective's daughter. I'll have crushes.
Yeah, that.
Because I don't know, but I do know that I'm I not traumatized, but new ones.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, it's the safest way because I don't have a PO box. So yeah, I'm not just gonna be giving out my address. No,
please don't.
There's some people that like to do drop-offs of business cards with Jesus on it. Hold on, I have it right here.
Or sometimes you put a picture on your wall and they geolocate you, and that's how everything probably
starts. That too. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. There's always a way.
There always is. Yeah.
Yeah, here's my Jesus card. Here, Em, I'll show you this. And it was inside my house. Nobody let these people in. I'm not taking the number off. I didn't put it there. So if anybody wants to know, that was left on my living room floor after I came out with the second anointing. And I'd really dismissed a lot of it until I got to thinking, when I went to Boise, I was like, holy shit, that really is big. You're in my house. You're not even on my property is alarming. You drove an hour and 15 minutes away, according to the phone number. We don't have temples here. So you didn't do that or leave a Book of Mormon if you want to interest me in it. Don't get my name from the website I signed up to find out more about your religion.
The thing, like they could have just sent you that or delivered it on your porch. That's what bothered me. I was like,
you could have came 2 weeks before and helped me, and my fiance get rid of all the trees, from the debris that we had.
Yeah.
Why y'all didn't come for that?
Yeah.
We'll feed you. But anyways, yeah.
This is the Southern charm.
Right? We had some Mennonites come, and I mean, they were so awesome. They really were. The Mennonites were really good to us down here who didn't get the FEMA help that they said they did. Yeah, no, it was to each their own. And
I have a little graph, and you did not get it compared to other hurricane victims.
Yeah, who were not impacted as much by the hurricane or at all, huh? But anyway, so these are the new bracelets. Now this is a cheaper version of like the other ones I've gotten, but I like this better. It's the purple, blue, and the white, and so I mean but they're good quality. They are. I was like, oh, I don't want to have to order the cheaper one, but money talks and bullshit walks. So, and to get all their names on it, I put I put justice for shit. Where's the beginning? Justice for Tylee. Oh my god.
JJ.
Okay, justice for Tylee, JJ, Tammy, Charles, and Joseph. So I probably could have fit another name on there. That is not a challenge.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't want to do that for Brandon. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I mean, I want justice for him too. He deserves it. He's alive. He's here. I can imagine. I wonder if and I didn't ask whenever I saw him at the trial or, after at Mom and Larry's condo thingy after the trial one day and on the second day. Because I'm pretty nosy like that. I'm just like, like when I first met him, I was like, are you sure you're not from Louisiana? Boudreaux?
Boudreaux.
And I mean, I'm like in those cat-like reflexes, you're like, he burned out, you saw a freaking gun hurt, you know what I mean? Like, holy shit. He's not a freezer. He don't freeze. he went into action. And thank God. And so it's like, I would love that the court had huge picks. Me too, JJ, Tylee, and Tammy Wright. And not the deceased ones or the autopsy ones. I don't know. Like, I don't think not for that day. They should be in her cell, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody had mentioned putting just videos of them or whatever. Maybe just court testimony. That'd be great. Just put it on a repeat and just play it over and over and over again.
I really think, and I think I told you this, that the reason why she threw that little hissy fit is because she did not expect that.
Well,
I think she was like,
they're able to aid in their own defense, right? And so that wasn't her. I mean, it could have been the first time she saw him, but I really think that we made her uncomfortable.
Oh, I know you did.
Everybody looking at her, jurors were giving her the stank eye. There was a lady crying.
People were seeing through her for probably the first time.
I stared at her. And I again, hyper aware. I was just kind of taking everything in and very like, oh shit. I dig. I like have to nervous clean, I'll just start doing all kinds of stuff. And I couldn't just walk out of the courtroom. It's a distraction. Zalima's very distracted. She's like, there's some noise in the back over there. And I'm like, shut up. Bippity boppity boo.
How many drinks of water did she take?
A lot. She's like,
I'm sorry, my mouth is dry because I just can't stop lying. Like I couldn't even.
Go for it. Let it rip, sister.
You could just tell. I mean, and the same with, first of all, I think they were all each other's sister wives. Just going to put that out there. I think that was her, the one that everybody was like, oh, it's so.
Oh, that's another thing in the Jeffrey Lundgren case. In this case, is that Jeffrey Lundgren could go. He's a prophet, right? Okay, he's RLDS, same damn thing. Anyways, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, but anyways, he said that he could find his cult members, mates. There was a certain word. They're lovers. Their future wives, right? In the scriptures. I mean, I was just like, interesting.
Well, what they say, like, what was the key term? A friend.
Something neat.
Lori to find a friend. I thought I could be a good friend.
Oh, that's freaking Audrey and her lying ass.
Like, good.
Yeah, just to be the go-between, even though they already had an open line of communication. She is lying her effing ass off.
I am listening and I'm like, this.
Yeah, you took it as sister wife.
Manufactured, and also weird.
Days of Our Lives.
Yeah,
passions. More like passions.
Yeah, like Stefano DiMera. I don't.
Yes.
I feel like they're. I just think it's weird. Like, I thought I could be a good friend to her, and I'm like, who talks like that?
Yeah.
Unless you're a sister one.
Hey, so I Googled up one night unicorns and whatever she said, and I'll be damned if I'm like, there's symbolism behind it's like because they communicate with one another, and to a non-Mormon, we're just like, what the F are they saying? But when you know what they're saying, you know they're communicating core horror and all that shit. And then you're like, she was basically poo-pooing on Lori, like, you hooker, like I'm having it just, no, there's more. And Audrey, in my opinion, very much knew how Tylee was beforehand. And I mean, if not, she's had plenty of time to watch everything, every media clip. They just couldn't watch right before, when they were subpoenaed and trial was going on. There's a certain window, but they've had 4 years to verse themselves and be unicorn and butterflies as their handle name. I've had Zalima's daughter was in my comment section, or your comment section. It was one of our comment sections.
I have little bears. I've seen them.
Ozmeister was
in peace. I saw a couple names and I was like, I hope you come in peace because you're here. Like, well, I don't think that. Like, I'm kind of kidding, but I got hacked and I was like,
yeah, it's terrible. It really is. And so then I sent you some stuff from 10 to Life, Annie Elise, or whatever. She was a small YouTuber, and then in 2000 is when she started, and now she's got over almost 1 million subscribers.
I saw she was subscribed, I think, at one point.
And like,
didn't.
I'm not sure, but she got hacked and then had her channel back up within 12 hours. And I was like, And it was in her Google account, though. Like, it was like taking just certain things. I just want you to go watch that video where she was very good at I was like, good God.
But mine was so different.
Yeah.
I mean, certain things weren't touched at all.
It's like somebody sent her an email from what appeared to be Google, like AdSense or whatever. And so she clicked it, and then it's like, well, you got to click this. And then that was wrap.
Yeah. See, mine was the installation of that MDM key that I showed you, or that device management keys. So, but I mean, what I would love, and maybe they're doing stuff on it. I mean, the FBI has it. I mean, it's an FBI case that they'll get to whenever they have time.
Allegedly.
Would stop murdering their fucking kids.
But allegedly. That's who's not dirty, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
there's people everywhere.
What I would really love is for some of these big YouTubers, if they are getting hacked, you guys should hire, because I can't afford to hire one. Like, maybe if we both got
action.
I'm like, maybe, because I don't think I'm the only victim. I don't. I just don't know why mine was different. Like, why there was a stalking element to it, and certain things that you would think someone would want, they didn't want. Certain things didn't happen to my channel, and they have happened to other channels.
Right. I don't know if it's just a different way, like, you know what I mean? Just like, and the other recurring theme in that was, I saw Linda, It's a Crime. She was live one day, but it said Law and Crime Network. And I was like, how in the hell? This is weird. And she must work for it now. But then, so I clicked in the live and I was reading other comments, and everybody was like, some people caught it and some people were like, oh my God, some people didn't. And I took screenshots. And then I remember Hidden True Crime got hacked right after that. Now I'm thinking back, because then Annie Elise, same thing happened with her. And people were like, oh my God, she must be with Law and Crime. You go, girl. And then she got hacked. So I was like, interesting. Just one of them like you say, put a tab in it, put a pin in it.
I mean, if it had been similar, but nobody did that, but they could have done whatever they want.
Something's weird. It shouldn't be under Law and Crime Network, and like Linda's video is still under Like when you go,
Yeah.
'cause I've even checked, I'm like, to see if that was ever corrected or whatever. And no, it still said Law and Crime Network. And I'm like, that's
Did
weird.
they buy her out?
No, it's just
Oh.
one video. It's weird. It's
Yeah,
weird.
that is weird.
I don't get
Like
it.
mine, I honestly think it was more like to make me go crazy or look, because it was
Or
such
to
a lie.
separate us. And it worked,
I think that was definitely part of it. I think definitely it was to shut me up, has been to shut me up, and then to scare me, and the way it was done was so high level. Even though I had a cyber guy say, actually, it's not. You can buy those on the dark web.
It was your Jesus card.
Like, honestly, it is so bizarre, and it's like
Targeted.
before I was coming on, I was like, well, we'll see if anything happens, because this is usually what would happen. I would come on and then something weird would go on, and then
Yeah.
nobody would believe me for the longest time. And I was like,
We believed you. We couldn't help you. We wanted to. Trust me. Everybody.
No, I'm talking about the cops.
Really. And I didn't know how to help. You know how you just kind of like,
I know. Like,
people want to help over here. And there's nothing you can say, nothing you can do, nothing that nobody can say or do that brings them back. But there's nothing I could say or do that would make that situation go away. I was just like, oh, okay. I don't know.
Someone else is in charge. I don't know if
Right.
they are more.
How invasive that is.
I haven't seen anything really recently. But, the other night, it's just, I'm trying to come to terms with it, I guess. Trying to be like, okay, like there's nothing you can do about it.
I like that, Carrie. Get a crap ton of purple and blue balloons and have everyone tie them on their cars so that Lori will see them everywhere when she arrives and leaves the courtroom. Put the pics on the car windows of JJ and Tylee.
That's perfect, because that's their own property, so they can't be like, can you please take that down, because
right,
courthouse property.
Because we're offended by it, and we have a trial going on over here, and it's going to affect the jury pool.
No,
it's not. It comes from Ada, so it seems like I looked on Google Earth not too long ago, and I noticed that there was, I don't know how current that kind of stuff is, but I thought it was pretty current, And so I looked on the Price's property, and I didn't see anything. So I was like, I hope. I understand it's their property. I can't wait. One day, let's start raising money now so we can buy it from John Pryor and then bulldoze the bitch.
Yeah, I think he'll be selling it.
Remember whenever we went and you made that wreath and everything, and that was so awesome. And me, her, and Wife went out there, and when we were in Rexburg, when Lori became competent, and Joseph Murray was outside staring a hole in our heads. And it was making Jen nervous, and I was like, I'll go. What? Well, I'm all like gangster freaking hood rat, I'm like, what? Well, what? What, bitch? You gonna walk over here, you gonna limp back.
Yeah. Well, no, you were really funny, because so we pull up and we like park, and
not on the property.
And yeah, on the street. We get out there, and Chris is showing me everything, and he comes out with like a lawn chair and sits in it.
Yep.
And he was filming us.
Yep.
He had his camera too, which I didn't know who it was, and you're like, that's Emma's husband.
I don't think he knew it was me. I don't know if he was like, that's that bitch right there. That's Krisha.
Well, no, but I have to do this because it was funny to me. Krisha goes, it's okay. I'm the aunt. It's okay.
I come in peace too.
She's like, and I'm just like, what?
And loud. Yeah.
We're not going to go over there and confront him. Like,
no. But what the hell, bruh?
They lost their mom.
And I was like, I'd be outside too if Emma was my wife. I get it.
Yeah. And maybe that's why. But it was a little weird.
Yeah. It was a little tense. Yeah.
I will be in the house with my wife.
But I'm a bitch.
No, you were like really like, it's okay. But I think, yeah, like even just like the balloons and the signs on the cars, because it's your own.
Yeah. It's your freedom of speech. It's your own vehicle.
They could, like, now that there's been some court decisions where, yeah,
See, y'all, this is the resistance I always get with shit.
yeah,
Every time I'm like, bah, 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 bah. She's my first. Well, Jason's my first line of defense, and then Jen. And I was like, I know. I mean, I would just tell you stuff, and then I'm like, okay. And then
I just pee on everyone's party.
no, you're a realist. I like it. You think about things that I don't think about.
No,
Or
I'm just
know
trying to
about.
think of like ways to do it that freaking Mr. Pissy Pants, Judge Pissy
Right.
Pants, can't be like.
Rain on
I
our
get
parade.
that we have to get okay. I don't know if I believe in the justice system, but I believe in the concepts of it.
Yeah. It's broken.
Give me a break with this case.
Right?
Give me a break.
Right.
Vallow Daybell would not if she were not blonde and blue-eyed and bouncy looking.
It really sucks.
Not. You think if she didn't look like the way she looks, that the judge would give two shits?
If she were
sure that
Puerto Rican or a Lamanite or black or a man, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Chad's case is adjudicated.
I think will be more sympathetic.
I don't know how.
Because a mom to do that.
Yeah, true.
But
then she's a female, and so that when the death penalty was on the table, which it still should have been, if people would listen to what I'm saying, it would have never come off. Because translated being, oh my God, 144,000. That is not crazy talk. That is just Mormonese.
Well, like you said, I mean, like you were showing us earlier with the comments, they love to talk. And the minute she realizes all is lost, she's gonna talk.
Oh yeah. I wonder.
John Pryor is he might.
I like what NF Mom said.
Yeah. I think
that's their landlord.
Yeah. Like I feel bad for those kids. I do, but I also am like,
I do and I don't.
Were you there for were you?
Like, I know it's a tough. Why aren't you?
You just. I mean, because if it, as complicated as my relationship was with my mom,
right?
Like I would be there, going, "Hey, bitch,
right?
Not my new mommy."
Right. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, no. But again, that's their first cult leader. That's the only thing that they know. And
was it you that told me that my mom died the same day Tylee Daybell died?
Probably. I'm weird, like with dates and stuff. That's my Rain Man thing.
Yeah.
Like yesterday was the end of the world, July 22nd, which was also an omen because that was my first ex-husband's birthday. So I was like, oh, it all makes sense now. Yeah. But then again, second coming to everybody else is defined different. It means something different in Mormonism. The great and dreadful day or whatever, great and terrible day. I need you to pipe in right about now. Drop your comment below, because I really don't know, but the proper term for it, it's not the same. There's like 5 phases of the second coming. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is our perception of things is not exactly what it is. I think they need to take a Mormon 101 class. What do you say, Em? What do you think?
It's a 7. It's 3.5 feast, 3.5 famine. And then there comes somewhere in the middle of that.
Right. There's the hinge point, which is this is supposed to be. That's what July 22nd, or according to Melanie Gibb, August was supposed to be.
And that
it is the hinge point because in April of 2024, that's supposed to be the end of the 7-year tribulation. So there you go.
Well, and this is where I always go, okay, you guys think Chad was his own fucking prophet?
Yeah, not.
When those text messages, and he said the prophet, that he explains the hinge point, and it's asking if the church is ready to move on. He's still recognizing the leadership of the church because
Yep.
he's explaining that he didn't say Zulema.
I've
Silly.
never heard Chad say I'm a prophet. I've never heard anybody refer to him as a prophet besides everyone
The press.
after all this went public. You know, and I mean, it
Well,
looked like a cult to my Uncle Charles. It looked like a cult to Brandon because Brandon and Charles were never supposed to be included in that old doctrine. And then the other day I was listening to Rex and Adam. Okay. And Rex said, I think it was before this last podcast, whatever. I don't keep up with the. Okay. Anyway. And so Rex said, that's the same stuff that was being, that my friends were studying back in my day. And I'm like, and y'all still haven't done a effing thing about it?
Mm-mm.
And they're not going to. Why? Because there's more to the story, in my opinion.
The people that are still practicing the older doctrines, still really believing in it, holding on, becoming more emphatic, that's where the money is.
Oh yeah,
Money is not with
but there's more going on.
The millennials and the Gen Zers, like that's not where the money is with like the people that will be like, you know, I believe in the church, but you know, I don't like this or I don't believe in this. That's not where the money is, because those are the people that, you know, may not pay their tithing all the time. But these people, like,
they're smarter.
They pay their tithing, and that's where the power is. So
I wonder if like Chad, I wonder if Melanie, I wonder if all these people, like whenever Melanie got her settlement from her and Brandon's divorce and everything, the $300 and something $1,000 allegedly, I wonder if she paid her 10%. I wonder if Chad paid his 10% on the hundreds of thousands of dollars that Chad just raised Tammy's life insurance policy to. I wonder if, you know, these are the things that I'm like,
well,
I wonder who benefits from this, you know. And then the church also had owned, I don't know if they still do, I think they do, an insurance company, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they bailed them out, even allegedly. There's just some weird things, patterns for sure, that, I mean, they stand out, and I mean, I can't dismiss them. And, you know, I guess the one thing that bothers me the most is people, especially Mormons, who will defend the church, yet they'll be involved in the chats. Not UM. I'm just saying in general, you know, like following the case actively, but then yet they don't, you know. Why has the church not? Yeah, why are you here?
Yeah.
What is your point? Is it just to say that it had nothing to do with the church or Mormonism, or what? Are you an apologist for the church, or are you an advocate for the victims? You can't do both. You can't see things. I have a hard time. I mean, I'm torn, because I'm like, well, why are you here? You know, I mean, we hit on all these other points, but then it's like they're unable to fathom that about their church, and or it just really makes them uneasy because it's not comfortable. That means that they'd have to admit that their church is not perfect and not as true as one would have you believe, you know? And I just think that's sad. I think it's sad.
If you can't see the flaws, and this is the
way in everything.
If you can't see the flaws in your religion or your political party or
your school, whatever, yourself.
Yeah, well, that's definitely concerning. But like when people are so, you know, when I see it, and I, you know, I have to look for, like, you have to admit that there are flaws.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because of like my job is to look for the flaws. My job is to look for all the holes and be like, well, this argument doesn't make sense.
Right.
But I know, like, when I get to where I'm so defensive of something that I won't listen to someone, then I
Yeah.
know that I'm no longer level-headed about something. Like,
You're right.
I know that I'm way too biased, because
Yep.
if I can't even see someone saying like, hey, that part of this doesn't make sense to me.
Or vice versa, or them always saying that something is, nothing's wrong with it. Everything's great. Or, I mean, I get that way too. Just like cynical or something, when you just, it's like, I think I'm a little, and I did that with the church. The whole thing was, I blanketed the whole thing. And then now I'm like, I know that's not the case. I know that not everybody has bad intentions. There are a lot of good people. There's a lot of good Mormons. There's a lot of good humans. Okay. I mean, as long as you believe in the same, Christ as I do, that, I mean, no, I'm joking. I'm just saying, it's just it's so hard to see people elevate a building, a church, a temple, a corporation of fallible men, and put that they value that, they elevate that and put it over the victims. It's a slap in the face to me, because it's not even, you're not recognizing how, let's do this theory, let's pretend that the church had no involvement, or I mean, at first it was like a fight of whether it was even tied to Mormonism. I'm like, they're freaking Mormon. That's kind of dumb.
Almost.
And it just has been a fight the entire time, a battle.
Yeah.
Socially, and then everybody has spun the same narrative. And I'm just like, stop for a second. Now, knowing what you know now, just re-examine things, and just what would the church benefit out of Chad and Lori being labeled a cult, or starting their own cult, their own offshoot, another one? What would Chad and Lori benefit from if they were starting their own whatever? I mean, who benefits the most is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who benefits the most by spinning this narrative? And then you have Christopher Parrott, saying this is just grandma, and I mean, his way or the highway. If you were against Chad or even questioned it, then you were gone. And I mean, that's just very black and white, very ignorant.
It's the way you're raised.
And it hurt. It's like, yes, I can be mad at them, and yes, but then really deep down in my heart, I'm just like, I really do feel bad for these people.
Yeah, but at a certain point, when people start getting murdered, when 2 innocent children go missing,
and everybody shuts up.
At that point, it's like, I think I stepped in some shit, and this is a problem. But I think even before then, because if you're saying, well, this is so against our doctrine, this is not what we believe in, blah, 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 blah. Okay, why didn't you stop them?
Look at the Laffertys. Look at LeBaron. Look at Jeffrey Lundgren. Look, there's many more.
Why didn't you stop them, David? What the hell? Who pretends he's deaf.
Just one time. He was not deaf the second time.
Yeah. I mean, I actually have hearing loss.
Yeah,
and
you do.
I'm kind of watching it, trying to be like, is he?
No.
But I think forgetting that you are not supposed to watch.
It's selective. And like Jen Lou was saying, she's like, she said the other day, well, I forgot her channel name or whatever, the Ward something. I pinned her comment earlier, but she was like, it's weird how all these people in their circle all had selective hearing. I mean, a selective memory at the same time. And then where that memory is lacking, you also have to count in like all the missing pings. Where's all the missing data? But because it's a conspiracy case, prosecution, they just want to nail that conviction. They just want that win. And so it's not even about getting the facts. It's not even about getting the full story. You're just getting whatever you can get, whatever they decide to give you. And the rest you have to make, fill in the gaps. I fill in the gaps with what I do know, things that I've noticed, things that I learned. And then, and I mean, I don't ever try to force anything. It just it correlates with this perfectly. It correlates with that, and I'm just like, they're always theories, because I'll never know. Because I mean, the church has not been forthright at all. They haven't said one way or another. Nothing against Chad and Lori to make an example out of them.
Well, they
and to steer exactly
my mistake.
They haven't said anything about the victims either. So on both sides of the coin, they have done nothing. But it's like the members. That's who, here comes Desnat, basically. And they're like, dun, 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 dun. We're going to defend the church, And so, I mean, the church hasn't made a statement either way. And
well, they don't need to, because they're doing it for them.
Yeah. And it really is
confusing. Say anything that they know, they have millions invested in PR for a reason.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. It's like the same. I mean, corporations. That's
okay.
But never apologize.
I don't think you could. Maybe there shouldn't be able to be both. Maybe you can't be a corporation and a church.
Well, maybe that definitely is my feeling.
And the 501c3 and, hiding behind the First Amendment. I can't pull the body, the footage they have of Alex sitting in the parking lot. I can't pull it for the church. All the temple visits they went to, I can't see that.
Right.
It's protected. And I mean, I do believe in religious freedom, but there comes a point when you get too big for your britches, and then you're exalted and shit. And then you don't have to follow laws. You don't follow the laws of the land. You only follow the laws of heaven, God's laws. And it just really sucks. You don't get to pick and choose. I didn't get to pick and choose who lived and who died. I don't even get to pick and choose to read a victim impact statement. I don't even get to pick and choose when, 4 years later, we can bury the kids and give them proper memorials. We have no say-so in this whatsoever. And we're at the mercy of the court, who, in my opinion, the people from that area are 96 to 98%, whether Judge Boyce is a practicing Mormon or not, whether he withdrew from the church or not, he is still in that influential pool.
Well, even if he weren't, because I know that there's been some like he's not Mormon, so therefore he can't be swayed.
Oh yeah,
he's swayed and be not. And welcome to you.
Anybody can be swayed.
You don't have to be Mormon to be swayed by the most powerful church in the United States, the wealthiest church in the United States.
There's some pull going. Look, Tim Ballard's Operation Underground Railroad, that the 2 investigations that were going on, grand jury met, and then the church wrote a letter or stepped in, and allegedly, boom, they're gone. The investigations are just absolved. And you can indict a ham sandwich, according to Scott Reich. So no, it stinks. And I have trust problems with the church. If you're out there, I really do. It's like, I read people's actions. You can show me better than you can tell me. Same for me. I can show you better than I can tell you. And when I see the shady over over my family's blood that was spilled. And either way, you're not saying set an example of these people, and you're also not taking up and just giving your condolences, which is what normal tell your prophet. That's what normal people do. They say, I'm sorry for your losses. Is there anything that we can do? Here we are. Open the door. You don't slam it shut and make yourself so.
They commented as they was
Oh,
good.
I'm not.
They commented on the LeBaron murders, and
Oh yeah, only to distance themselves.
but they still said,
Kinda, but
yeah,
they
I mean,
it was
they got
only
more
to
than-
distance themselves. Trust
yeah,
me.
but then they got more acknowledgement than
At least they got that.
JJ and Tylee. They didn't.
If it's not a genuine apology, it's just a manipulation.
It's kind of like a YouTuber apology. Like,
It's exactly what I thought of when I saw that quote.
But it's like, just say, I'm sorry, I fucked up. Bye-bye. Don't say.
Here's the quote. An apology without changed behavior is just manipulation.
Yeah.
Because that's the best. You don't even have to give me an apology, but just change your behavior. Show me. Chandler Police Department, I go and check their stats all the time. Ain't nothing changed. There's nothing about, men being, domestic abuse victims. There's nothing special, nothing different, nothing to see here, folks. We're just going to keep on keeping on.
Well, they got help from a certain person, in my
opinion. Same thing for the church. The church is no different than the damn Chandler Police Department, in my opinion. It's a system. If anything, it has more of a responsibility. It has a moral, it's spiritual. You know what I mean? Like, you're really trying to set the example. Hello. I'm scared.
And what are people like learning from this, that they do get into that? You know what they're learning? Yeah, we can still do it, but just shut up about it.
Yeah, because we're okay. We're still having our temple recommends. We're still going to temple and shit.
Yeah. Just don't talk about it. The problem is that Chad and Laurie talked about it, and
and they brought attention.
And you know that because you saw that post.
I like that, Rama.
Everyone, like, don't talk about things.
Mike Stroud, I think that was a fake excommunication. Because, I mean, the day after he got excommunicated, he went on his podcast. He said, I got excommunicated, da-da-da-da-da-da. The next day on a Facebook group, I have screenshots where he was like, I did not get excommunicated. And I was like, well, you don't fucking say.
Well, look at Giuliani, who I think is like the grandfather of them all.
Yeah. He's one of the September 6th, for anybody wanting to know.
He's the only one of the September 6th was let back in.
What did I used to call it? Recommunicated?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it was because of his studies. Like, it seems to be on the lines of, and Chad served a call. He had a calling in the church. He was a ward clerk. And
because he was in charge of everyone's fucking records.
Thank you. In his book the other day, I ran across that part and I was like, about, anyways, it don't make sense. But thank you, church, for getting the dates wrong on his excommunication. You at least could have fudged there. That was your one time, your one shot.
You had one job.
And failed. But I mean, they leaked it. Had to have been them. It could have been Emma. Could have been John Pryor. Either way,
like her dad's
it wouldn't really.
It was news.
It would not benefit. Really, I didn't think about this. It wouldn't really benefit Chad to release that information. Who does it benefit? The church. Distance. Every chance we get. Here you go. Dropped it. It would shame Chad to be excommunicated. You know what I mean?
when that got dropped. It wasn't until after there were a lot of people saying, was he excommunicated? Because you're not
It's
supposed
obviously a
to.
big deal to Mormons. I was
No.
like, what? Who cares?
And I got a lot of shit because I was like, listen, until you show me the letter,
Yeah.
you know, they don't make it public. So for all of you to be coming in my chat telling me he was
Unless you're
excommunicated in
famous.
2018 or 2019 or 2017.
Oh, we heard it all. I heard it all.
And I was like, okay, show me the letter.
Yeah. And then boom, there's a letter. Girl.
2020 after, I mean, come on, your power of discernment's off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
He didn't
by
get
about 2 years.
excommunicated until August of 2020. Same month as his preliminary hearing.
Yeah.
Then, now this is where it's bad. Just there's corruption all the way around. Because Chad also didn't receive the response letter in time to respond to it. You know, jail people, them COs, they were like, yeah, he don't need this right now. I'm just saying it could have been, or it just could have been really slow snail mail.
I mean, or
Seems like it'd come in with a chair of angels would fly it in. Ooh, here you go. Jean Marie says,
what, like you said, so what's it mean?
oh yeah. Oh, and what Lee here says right here, boom. this will piss you off. And yet Jason Mao still teaching his poison to children who's on church payroll. He is a seminary teacher, just as Mike Stroud was to Jason Mao.
Yeah.
It's just a nod, wink, wink.
I think Jason Mao is evil. Allegedly. Hi, Jean Marie.
Yeah. Yeah. She was like, what? Jen?
I know. I keep, like, I see you guys popping in and I'm kind of like trying to smile and wave and stuff when I see it.
Heidi says it's PR.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's all they know the tricks, but, and they use them. They have the money.
Yeah. It's just nuts. It's nuts. I don't know. It just stinks all the way around. And again, no matter where the stink comes from, all it does is, again, poo-poo on the victims even more by the systems that they depended on. Just, we don't see nothing, you know?
Right.
It's terrible. And Gabe Bonilla, shame on him. Shame on you, Gabe Bonilla.
I just, when when we were talking and that I didn't end up making it, but that to me is, I don't know what part is the most heartbreaking of the body cam footage with Charles, but when I heard him backtracking, I was like,
dumbing it down, minimizing it.
I thought this man trusted you with his life, basically, and came to you for help.
You A2 Brute? Yeah.
Shit, and you know that what she is saying is destroy you, that it's not like destroy him financially. No, you know.
Yeah.
What she meant by that.
Yep.
Because already
a bishop knows.
You know, like there was already concern. So don't say that, like the fact that you're there,
Mr. Discerner.
Yeah, and just like
a whole nother story.
I really think, it's disgusting to me because it's like the fact that they're treating her like the victim.
Yeah, and she's not allowed, like Judge Boyce doing what he's doing. She is never being confronted by the people that she offended, she's being protected from that. Why? Is it because I might fly off the handle and say a little truth bomb or two?
Yeah.
Because I totally was planning on it.
Yeah.
I wasn't just going to drop the truth on. It was all aimed at Lori, but if anybody's listening. You know, I mean, that's in my opinion, that's why Nate Eaton is just like, yeah, okay,
Oh, you mean
here,
what
let's
I'm talking about?
let's promote, you know, Adam and Uncle Rex, you know. But I mean,
Suddenly,
just
I'm gonna start having
whoa, look at
lives
him.
on my family channel
Oh
with,
yeah, with 80,000, you know, and
at the
I'm
exact
thinking
same
people
time that
just
Charles Vallow's niece is going on.
yeah, and I'm
That's
just
a
gonna
cool thing.
shit. I'm gonna shit on everybody and full. It's just all a game, and it's really gross.
Yeah,
It is really disgusting. It's hurtful. I mean, why am I not valid? Worthy. I'm sorry, worthy.
well, the whole like, no, there is no such thing as that. And I'm like, yeah, make
Bullshit.
sure you have your kids in the background so you can look as wholesome as possible.
Oh yeah, put them on there and exploit the hell out of them too.
Here I'm going. I'm saying shit I'm going to regret. But I'm just
No,
saying
you're not.
that there are marketing techniques used, and that it appears as though someone was using that type of marketing technique at the exact same time that someone else was on who has
Who has every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
consistently.
and then Sunday, the one
And
day.
then
It's
here's
just
the
like
thing: when you're reading his little notes that he's not proofreading before he's putting on his little news site, other family. I never once saw your name or JJ's at, and I'm
he said it
going,
once. He said my name once. I
did
think
he?
only because people brought it up to him. I think.
Because I was just like, dude, she's been here every step of the way, and you're like skipping over her.
Yep.
Like, I'm
Right.
sorry that this has brought up stuff for you,
It's painful for you. It's just so painful, right?
and that it clearly offends your spouse because you guys have to get on here and defend that and make sure you pull any attention towards
Deflection.
it. Which,
Deflection.
by the way,
Deflection.
did you already make him plenty of fucking money off of it?
Yep. Oh God, yeah. You got a chopper and everything.
But I just felt like watching that, I
It's disgusting.
became very livid because I was like, there is a standard that
It's
you should
supposed to
be
be.
holding yourself to.
Supposed to be.
There should be, yeah. And there's, and you're dropping because you're letting your personal
Bias. You're yeah.
want, and I
You're
get
not telling the story. You're just telling the story that fits your narrative. And
because you know the
it's
true
really
story is
sad
on
because
your channel.
I met Nate. I mean, I sat in the little room where he interviewed the first chick. Remember, she's kind of blurred out. We sat in that room and just shot the shit. I mean, I have some East Idaho News shirts. You know, I mean, it was just I needed to be there, and you know, it's like I'm not less than. I thought Jay was you for a long time. I have
Was
to
me?
admit, yes.
No, when
Because
I
I was
sneak
like,
in,
oh,
I
okay.
know your different profile when I sneak in.
So just know that, Jay. For a minute, I was like, oh.
I sneak in every once in a while. I just don't comment. Or sometimes I'll drop a comment and I'll be like, oh, they're going to know who it is. And then,
Well, I mean, she says it won't be long before Rex and Adam have nothing to talk about. You can only rewrite history for so long until you have nothing relevant to talk about.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think
They're apologists, in my opinion. Like, I mean, what they have every right to do what they're doing. I can't tell them how to grieve. You know, they cannot tell me how to grieve. And that's just a respect. That's a mutual, okay. I have no control or say so over that. I don't know how I feel about it. It just seems very self-serving a lot of ways. Again, but that's kind of a Mormon thing where people preach at you. Remember Colby? How he was like God over odds. You know, and it was more like he was preaching to everyone. And I'm like, but are you taking that in, Bob? You know, are you look at the mirror, you know? And I just feel like Rex and Adam do that. And actually, yeah, I had pulled up. We are past the 3-hour mark, but
sorry.
No, you know how we go. We can just go and go and go. I've missed y'all. I've missed you too, big time. Dave missed you. We've all missed you.
I know. I miss it
so much. And I hope you don't let them keep you away. But get your ass finished with school. That's an order.
Well, I have a week or I don't graduate again. Then they'll be like, wait, listen, come on, give us our gown back. They'll be like,
Yeah.
now you're really not going to graduate.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're going to graduate. You're going to graduate. You're smart. You was fine. You was fine.
No.
You was fine too, girl. You was kind. You was smart. You was important. For sure.
You're a lot smarter than you.
Maybe you can come on and we'll dig through this booger.
Oh, wow. You even have my highlights on it.
Yeah. So I showed this to Galactic Storyteller. I did an interview with her on her channel. And I showed her this. She was like, oh, that looks like how we used to do it in whatever. I don't know what she said. I didn't recognize it. But I was like, oh, well, it's my friend Jen's. She was Mormon too. So probably so.
They're all color-coded. Certain
Oh, yeah.
I think I color-coded them. Like,
look, here's mine. Here's my big flappers. You know, I'm just like, yeah, this is super important right here.
yeah.
Take my
Well,
orange
you probably picked out a lot more than I even picked up on.
No, I've not even read it because it's. I mean, I've read part. You know how I am. You know what I do. I do this, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then I go backwards, like this right here. You're writing and stuff.
What did I read?
This is a real thing. And then, Signs of the Second Coming.
Yeah. It is a hard book to get through though, because you're like
Raising the Dead Body.
You know, but it is when I read it, and yeah, like Jean Marie, you'll probably when I read it, and I actually can't take credit for reading it because you told me about it, and then
then we had that audio on, you know, with
you
Tom.
had that audio,
yeah.
And then,
wait, you have audio from a fireside chat that I don't know where it is.
I don't have audio.
I have to offload Google Docs all the time because it eats so much storage space. So I have to offload more times than any.
You have everything.
I know. I need to go look on my laptop. I just don't know where.
If anybody can like smear me all over YouTube and scratch it.
If anything, I got all her shit. Motherfuckers.
You can like deep fake and yeah, you could do all.
Yeah, no, I would not dare.
But yeah,
I don't even do that to people I like, and I don't hate Lori even. I don't know. Just ask me in 10 minutes, it'll change.
No, Visions. It's a tough book to get through, but then when you start it, I'm trying to think of that channel name because you're like, oh no, so and so talked about it. Left Undone.
JJ Brown. Oh yeah, Left Undone has a lot of original. You heard it there first for sure.
Yeah,
you know, I always, and I feel bad for that. I actually, at trial, they read her verdict. You know, guilty, all guilties, and so that we stand up, and after everything's done, and then everybody's hugging, and just all these emotions and stuff, and then I turn and tap on my shoulder, and I turn, and it's Kathy from Left Undone, and I'm like, oh my god, but I wish I could have. There was so much going on, so much emotion, so much. We got the bitch,
yeah.
And I high-fived them after that, but I feel bad, for like my aunts and my other uncles who they deserve to face her too. And I mean, it's like, I know that Judge Boyce is going to turn me down. I sent my victim request to, can I please be a victim? Please, master. Am I worthy enough? It's a really shitty thing to do. That's one thing you shouldn't have to worry about. And so I'm going to go ahead. I sent it to the Attorney General on accident because it's not a friendly user website. We'll just say that much.
It is like an old, like they're
dilapidated. You just go in a circle. I'm in a portal straight up.
I will say one thing. We do have my state. We do have a pretty awesome legislative website that is probably one of the best. Because if you look at Idaho's, it's like, remember when we had America Online? That's what it reminds me of. Like what websites look like.
It's dilapidated. I mean, it's like an old blog.
Sorry, someone said keto and crime, and we saw the devil.
Oh yeah, yes.
Keto.
Oh my God, I go back and I listen to all of them. I do. Y'all know how I orbit, and I missed that. Kay has so much grace. My petty ass would probably start shouting crazy stuff. Not to be like, hey, bitch. Right.
Which three Nephite?
Oh, right.
Remember their names?
I don't know, like, surprise, I am one of the three Nephites. You're Korhor. She gets so offended by Korhor, you call her a murderer and nothing.
She's
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah. Keto and Crime read all of his
yes.
books too. So if nobody has
but I'm gonna read them too though. I mean, but that's good. But yeah, you get her insight from that too. I'm just gonna do it because that's one way I can curb.
Yeah.
Don't go buy it. Here you go. But I'm gonna read it.
She got a lot of crap for that too. People were
like, that's bad. That's what I'm saying. That's your apologist.
I got it from like the DI.
That's your defenders. That's your apologist. I have one of his books, and I left them all at Mary's, and not all, but because I have these. This one's a good one. This one here. Oh, you might want to keep that one.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I marked all up in it. I don't give a shit. It ain't got no value.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I quoted from that one.
Holy hell. It's a 3-parter though. I have volume 2. And it was like $3.95.
You got to get the rest of the discourses too, because I only had a couple of them.
I mean, I have some from Curtin McConkie. I have The Coming of the Lord. The Power of the Word. The Power of the Word by Robert Millett. I don't know. Yeah. He's the one that says, I don't answer a question that they asked me. I answer a question they should have asked. I'm like, you're a narcissist asshole.
He sounds like a politician.
But the power of word. And I mean, because words are powerful. Words have intentions. What's in a word, you know?
You got to go through the discourses of Brigham Young. Because and history of the church.
What?
I give you a couple of them. But
yeah. I have the big one, the big gigantic one. Elder Taft Benson. I haven't read that one yet. It's like looking at my monitor. It's like
it's not that good. It doesn't even
it's like this big. I can't even. It's at least 2 feet. No, it might be 1.5.
They gave it to their kids, like the people that signed it, because I got it from the DI, and they were like, wasn't that the one? And they're like, this is for you. And I'm like, oh, and then their kids were like, take it to the DI.
There's all kinds of good stuff for the DI. And I was like, I am not spending money here.
I know, but
Mom. And then I was like, shouldn't have went and looked at the books. Jason's like, oh my God.
That fascinating.
And that's something that's not scrubbed. It's anti-scrub.
That's the good thing about it.
Yes, it is. So yeah, I don't know if they do online shopping. No, don't tell me that. I'll find out for myself.
They have different stuff at everyone. Like
of course, but I want to be able to, I'll do my own research.
Yeah, exactly.
There's this too. I've made this. I made some of these things.
I know that's scared me at first. I didn't know.
It is scary, huh? But I mean, I'm like, I like using this, having a killer time, or whatever. I'm just trying to. It's hard to brand murder, especially when you're on that side of it. So it's like, what do you do? And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. She is a murderer. Let's face it.
Yes.
She is a red rummer, and she's a convicted killer. She doesn't have any rights anymore. They were taken. She is a ward of the state, and I think that's pretty interesting. Mighty change of events there for you, Lori. And so I made this. So anyways, I'm gonna live stream the sentencing that day, all day, however long it takes. Yeah. That'll go off when it's done. But anyways, and so I mean, everybody's gonna watch it, or however it should. hopefully it's televised. I mean, it's an order that Judge Boyce had done a while back. I have the paper. I just need to go look at it. But, you know, you don't have to get permission. Well, probably Nate Eaton did, because they're going to have still photographers and everything.
Oh, they're not going to have the illustrator?
Oh, right.
Like, okay.
I straight up cracked a joke with one of the FBI agents, Nick Balance, I think it was. We were all stuck in the elevator, going up to the 4th floor, which the courtroom, Jen, was 403. And I was like, why couldn't it be 404? That would just make so much sense to me.
Oh my God.
404 scrub gone.
Yeah.
Anyways, but so we were in me and family and, a bunch of cops were in the elevator. And I was like, cop was questioning other cop. And I was like, oh, so you're testifying today? I was like, you wonder what your picture is going to look like? And then everybody just busted out laughing. That's some funny shit. I don't care who you are.
The picture that I drew of like you,
my mom.
your mom. And then I was like,
they have my profile in one.
Yeah. I was like, who did Rob Wood piss off? Because that's not a flattering drawing. Like, did he
she got better as time went on.
The artist is like, that's it. You're gonna big belly.
Oh my God, I'm turning red.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't imagine. I mean, I'm not trying to. That's mean, but you know what I mean. It is what it is.
I mean, like, it just.
She got better as time went on, but like Mom looked like she had jowls from hell, and Brandon, he looked disgruntled. Like he was just, like, good Lord, he's not a bad looking dude. According to regular, but in that picture, you're like, mm-mm.
Well, I guess it's just art. Like, but no, I mean, I thought that they were like, I didn't think the sketches were bad. I just thought it was funny because I was like, ooh.
They're pretty sketchy. They're pretty sketchy.
Yeah, or maybe that, I mean, I think if someone drew a sketch like that at me, I'd just cry and be like, it's over.
Right? Oh, man. So real quick, what I'm going to do is what I did with the old, like what I did with the first bracelets, which was I put them on my PayPal. I think I don't, where this is like a product, where you buy a product, and that way I don't have to give out my address. Even doing self-addressed stamped envelopes, I would still have to get out my address. You'd have to send the self-addressed stamped envelope. So I don't know. And so I'm gonna put it for like $5, whatever will cover the postage, and just whatever. If I remember, I always sent like 10 if I could, like,
I know you said
give them out, like give them to everybody. And, so on the thing, it's like technical, you have to put each, it makes you do that. So if anybody's interested, because I don't know any other mass way to like get them out. So
fulfillment center. Just kidding.
Okay, I don't even know what that. I'm like, what? I'm so country. I'm so behind the times. I gotta do all the work.
Like big companies use these fulfillment centers.
Yeah, well, I'm fulfilling one order at a time. No, but if anybody's interested, the moderators, they've put, the links for Venmo and PayPal. Just grab one of those. I haven't actually made the ad or the whatever yet. The listing, I haven't made that yet, so I'll do that whenever after this. And then I don't know, we'll do it that way. Maybe we can do some giveaways also on sentencing day. I wish it was on a Tuesday. Is it on a Tuesday? My calendar doesn't show me that. It just shows me today.
I don't know.
See you next Tuesday is not relevant. And they were all about Tuesdays. Pattern. The whole Enoch, Raphael, Green, Tuesdays, SSW even. So, yeah. And then maybe we'll do that for channel members too. I'll just have to figure that's the thing, just figuring out how to do these things without doxing yourself, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Here you go, letting everybody in your damn living room.
Mm-hmm.
It would be so fun. Anyways, thank you, mods. Y'all rock all the time.
Thank you for having me
Always.
on.
I love having you on. You come on anytime. Anytime. I'm like, oh, I don't want to ask. Donna's waving.
I was like, hello.
Yeah, she's
Thanks
awesome.
to everyone in the chat that said hi, and
Yeah,
you too.
y'all are awesome. I'm gonna go back and read the comments too, because we weren't really able to do that. We cannot do that and think, oh my god.
Well, I always do it, and then I get way off track, and so I was trying. I always try and send like smiley, like I'm always like trying to be like, and I probably just look crazy, but
no. Maybe, yeah. I remember doing a Korihor shirt. Yeah, it was no, y'all remember the Lifetime movie now. Don't forget that. Because like whenever I think next Sunday or even before that, I just want to do some reminiscing videos, like just kind of here we are. Remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this. A case overview. I don't know what to call it. I call it the last 4 years of my life.
Yeah,
just kind of go down memory lane, if you will, and just what we knew then, how we learned these things, what happened. I mean, even with the phone call that was recorded by Melanie Gibb of Melanie Gibb when she was talking shit, basically. Totally different tune than her East Idaho News extravaganza. And then I think KJ's gonna, I don't know the word, but I think she's gonna be burning a big picture of Lori later that night. So I don't know. But I'm gonna go on a little earlier and see this through, cry together. Mary said, use my address as the return. I might not have said that out loud. I don't know yet. I was not thinking. Anyways. Oh, thank you, Jean. That's so sweet. Yeah. I don't know how to take that. I'm just taking it. Okay. No. I'm smiling and saying thank you.
You were so shy and you were so unsure of yourself, and you were so like constantly watching what you're saying because you didn't want to offend anybody, and you just have like grown, and like everything that I knew, I was like, like, just, it's okay, stop apologizing, like, because I would always be like, oh my gosh, stop apologizing.
I would toe the line. Like I would just go up to it and I would kind of, and then I would just scoot back, very observant. I was very slow, methodical, careful. It's scary.
We're very
careful. What about the rest of them? Has not changed for me.
Yeah, I just want to be like, I remember a few times I was like, you have to stop apologizing because it's not.
Nobody gets to tell you how to grieve, is what she told me. I was like, oh, everything just, yeah. It was so empowering. That was actually through this whole thing, that was the most impactful thing that anyone has told me in my life. But I mean, it just,
a therapist told it to me.
Well, high five your therapist. Yeah. There's a lot of things to learn, and a lot of it was myself. I didn't know all these things. I didn't know I was looking for myself or my voice, or I was inadvertently, it happened, and that's the coolest thing.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Right. And I appreciate having you. Thank you, Michelle, for letting us borrow her.
I was appreciating
enjoy your free time.
I thought she'd come in. You know what she was doing today? She was cutting down branches on a tree. And I went outside and I was like, why is the ladder on the trampoline?
I jumped on the trampoline.
I was like, well, we are not going to be on, what is that? Fail Army, are we?
Just America's Funniest Videos, most likely.
And she did sound so sweet. I'm married to the sweetest person in the world. Mm-hmm. Our neighbors, we gave them our old pool, and then we gave them our old pump this year.
Yeah.
Their pool. And she like went over. She went to the pool store. She like set it up for him and everything. Like she's like, oh, I'm gonna go there. I'm like, I won't leave this house to get dinner. I will. I mean, Target is a trip for me these days.
Yeah.
And
You
here
should
you are
Target, yeah.
driving across the valley for a neighbor.
I mean, for an ice cream, they're like, "What's your favorite ice cream? You want an ice cream, babe? I got you." Jason does the same stuff, and I'm just like, I'm so horrible. I don't ever want to go people anytime. And so I basically I was like, okay, you got to pick your battles. This is one where you're just going to shut the hell up. I'm telling myself this, and you're just going to go. And so we got, Mom gave us 2 comped rooms for Kashada, the casino and hotel. I don't gamble. So, and he don't, if he's with me, because I'll be like, are you crazy? Be right there cashing out. Hell no. Anyways, but so the boys, he and the boys went down and swam and stuff, and in a not so lazy river. He said it was like going fast. He's got some curves and stuff. I'm like, good God. And I stayed in the room, but I mean, at least I did that much. It's so hard to unplug. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that even freaking means.
I know. We have to work on that.
I do, yeah. So take one for the team.
All right.
Anyways, all right. Well, I love you guys.
Hurricanes and shit.
Yeah. Trauma Tour 2020. Hurricane Laura.
That's right.
Hurricane Delta. Lori. Anyways.
All right. Bye-bye.
Love you guys. Thank y'all. See y'all later.
What you stand for.
Love always wins. And justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Toodles.